How's the little yellow dinghy observations going?
Oh, I haven't been there in a while. Been too dark when I have getting in.
Yeah, yeah, I can relate. It's too dark. It gets dark early.
I'd like to go during it's cold, but it's cold. Gets dark sooner. Oh yeah, so that is a target observation, 333 meters across local lake, where there's a boat attached to a pier, and it disappears from the bottom up. Sometimes, other times it disappears from the sides in, and sometimes it disappears from the top down and the bottom up. But at least on some occasions it disappears from the bottom up. Now,
Mm-hmm.
the Globers would like you to believe that things disappear from the bottom up because of Earth curve.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why that can happen. There's no way that in 333 meters, based on the quote unquote globe that they claim, that there would be any loss of the bottom of that boat at that range in the manner in which it disappears. Which proves that it's not physical, anything in the way. Except that there's literally nothing in the way between me and it except air and whatever the light's doing. So then the reason why it's disappearing is what? There's only really one option. If it's not physical and I'm seeing it disappear, then what's the reason why it's disappearing? It's an optical reason, right? It's the only category left.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, if the Earth was a globe, and things were being blocked by a giant hump in between point A and point B. That would be one thing, but there would also be all these other ancillary factors and necessary factors like angles, physical limitations of light, atmosphere, all these other things. They all be compounding together. You know, it's not purely just go out there and project globe geometry, which, by the way, globers don't even do that anymore. What they do is they say, okay, here's an observation that shouldn't be able to happen based on the geometry of the globe. Therefore, it must be happening because of what? What's their go-to excuse? Optics. Something optical is occurring that's making this dramatic observation that supersedes globe geometry by orders of magnitude possible. It's optics, that's what it is. So how come they get to appeal to optics anytime their model fails at what we see? But when flat earthers say it's optics, oh, they get laughed at. Globers essentially have an unfalsifiable ad hoc band-aid that they can apply to any observation in the term of wonkily donkily light. No matter what observation you see, they'll say, well, I already know the Earth's a globe of a fixed radius, therefore it must be wonkily donkily light. There's no other answer. It cannot be otherwise in the glober's view. That makes their propositions of interpreting what they see based on distances or things that are missing the bottoms or any of those things just a big charade of unfalsifiable nonsense.
Yeah.
They'll pay lip service. I'll finish up with this. They'll pay lip service to, oh, well, of course there's a limit, but then any observation, they'll exceed that limit. So I don't know what to tell you. All right, go ahead.
No, my bad. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was gonna ask you, you know who DMOC is, right? You never have, right?
Oh, yes.
You know, as crazy as, you know, he's like a thin line between genius and crazy, right? As, as crazy as he, you know, says some wild stuff sometimes, he came up with this one thing, and it's still to this day, right? He probably said this like, I want to say a good 2 years ago. And he had this thought experiment that I think is like the killer of the ball. Another, right? Because there's so many of them. Another death to the ball type situation. He said if you could take something and angle it, you know, away from the surface of the water to where you're headed in a downwards position, he said, how many miles does it take for my descent become to where I'm ascending? And a lot of fucking Globers couldn't grasp what he was saying. And I was like, oh my God, that is
can't
fucking
either.
genius. That's genius.
I
Like,
can't grasp that either.
okay, so like think about it this way. If it's a ball of water, okay? It's globe. When you go down from, let's say, one side, well, if you're going down, 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 but all of a sudden, when you get to the other side of that globe, you should actually be coming up. So you should pop up out of the water as if because it's a curve, because it's curving down. So if you went at an angle, like kind of like cutting a line between a ball. Get it? Get it? Like a radius between a. Or I'm sorry, I guess that would be called a chord between a ball. Like it will intersect at both points of the surface. But technically, if you went down on one side, you should be going up on the other. And I'm like, dude, that's a great fucking thought experiment. That makes a lot of fucking sense.
Yeah. To follow a chord line or a horizontal line on a globe results in reciprocal slopes.
Right.
Horizontal or a chord in the manner of a straight line, when you think about it as a plane or a level surface, can't exist on a globe because as soon as you move away from the radius in that angle, you have a different altitude, which means you're now on a slope, right?
Exactly. It's
Exactly.
fucking genius, bro. Dude, I'm telling you, as crazy as DMOC is, and he says some weird ass shit sometimes, But sometimes he has these fucking golden nuggets. I'm like, dude, that's
Oh, no,
fucking genius.
I'll tell you his best one. His best one is microdots. If you couldn't talk about microdots.
No, what's that one? I haven't even heard that one. Where have I been?
Okay, so remember Brian Mullen,
Yeah.
balls out physics? So he had an idea. He had two ideas. His first idea was called torque the line. And that idea was to make a line really tight and pierce it through the water like a cord line, right? And it would either be below the surface of the water or parallel with the surface of the water, right?
Yeah, I get
Depending
you.
on if the water was humped or not. Yep, exactly. The problem
Okay.
is that he couldn't solve the catenary problem because a cord, bows in the middle.
Yeah,
And he
it's too
couldn't figure
heavy
out a
for
way
its
to
own weight.
solve it. There's all different ideas to solve it, but anyway, he gave up. His other idea was called force a line. And this idea was to build a solid, rigid structure,
I remember that.
miles long, that was forced to be square. So you set up your initial point, plumb and level, and then
With
you
the
have a
90,
right
right?
angle piece of metal, right? And then you
Right.
force another piece of metal to it, perfectly plumb and square, to the piece of metal. And you keep going by squaring the metal. You no longer use plumb or level. You just square the
Right.
metal true. And you're either going to keep rising in altitude as the earth curves away underneath you, or you're going to stay parallel with the surface. And at range, if you look at this structure, you'd be able to see, if you made it big enough, like let's say you drive by, let's say it's in the middle of a desert, you could drive by the road and you could look out there and see, there's a ruler against the earth, and it's clearly not curved, or it clearly is curved.
Right.
Problem is, he very quickly realized that this would cost like $1 billion, right?
Yeah.
So that didn't happen. Now, what Demock said is, well, instead of having a solid, rigid structure, which is square, true, what if you had floating points? Because triangles is a triangle is a square. A triangle tool
Right.
is a
Right.
square.
Oh, I have
And if you
heard this
have the
one.
Pythagorean theorem, right, or whatever, and the angles, you can know that you're making a true, just floating points.
Right.
So essentially, he came up with the idea of making an interconnected lattice of drones, which use multiple methodologies of connecting with each other: laser, radar, GPS, but not tapped into the main GPS, like an open source, self-contained GPS that the systems have with each other. So they're coordinating with each other, and they're going off of each other rather than any other external factor. And they maintain distances to each other that create the triangles, that create a true straight giant ruler made up of interconnected drones. And since the drones themselves could be manufactured rather easily and for less than maybe even a few $100s to $1,000 or so, and people could crowdfund them, it would actually be financially feasible and logistically feasible, because putting a bunch of drones over a large surface that can then be removed is a lot less hassle than trying to build a superstructure, at the
Yeah.
scale of bigger than the Golden Gate Bridge or something. It's like you're never gonna get approval for that, let alone the money, right? But with the drones, you could do it, and then you'd have a similar ruler to put against the earth.
Right. Yeah, that's smart. That kind of reminds me. I thought you were going down the road of his fucking squares on the water, and he goes, "Where's my fucking triangle at?" Have you ever heard him say that? That's fucking smart too. He says if you take squares like floating, like if he's like you know the way he talks. You can fucking make them out of fucking foam, whatever. You fucking floaties, whatever. You know the way he talks.
Right.
He's like just take a bunch of squares and then connect them and flush them up against each other on a body of water that's still, at rest, and then just go for as long as you can. And he goes, and show me where the triangle is. Like what square is going to start deviating from the one next to it because it's curving on curved water. I'm like, dude, that's another fucking genius idea. Like, that's so smart, because that's true. Because if you do have squares going over a ball, they're going to create a gap at the top of them, right? Like naturally, they're going to, because you're going to be curving away. He's like, I
Well,
guarantee you. He's like, I guarantee you, they'll be flushed up together, you motherfuckers. You know how he talks. He's funny.
that's fine, but there's still the problem of how to measure it, how to construct it, all these things. Well, an
Mm-hmm.
interesting point about the drones is the idea is that the drones would be open source software with a an engineered schematic, right? So
Yeah, I
that
hear you.
you could fund or build or crowdfund your own drone. So like the Globers and the Flat Earthers would have the same open source access. They'd all be interconnected in a closed circuit, so everyone would be able to see what's happening. Very little chance for shenanigans, right? But like let's say Zanuck wanted to be involved, he could fund a drone himself, buy the
Right.
parts,
To be a
have it
part of
put
it.
together, whatever it is that you need, whatever's decided that what the drones are going to be. And so, as a community, people could create this giant ruler to put against the Earth and see what happens.
Right.
So yeah, Democ is kind of like he's
He-
kind of like sometimes he's kind of like Schrodinger's genius.
yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
he's a dead cat, and sometimes he's a genius.
Right? Like he's like I swear, like he reminds me of like if I could make a movie out of him, like that dude that's like in a mental crazy house, but he's smart as fuck on some crazy weird way, and like he just like he spits out some gems sometimes, bro. Like the way he thinks outside the box, and he doesn't think like normal people, and you can tell the way when he talks. You can tell he says like weird stuff that doesn't make sense, like a child just putting words together sometimes. But then other times you're like, whoa, like it throws you back. Like, oh shit, that was a good point there. Like he's on the borderline of insane and genius. It's kind of funny. He was in a Geo's earlier, and he said the most weirdest shit to Zanuck about. It was a few hours ago too, like 4 or 5 hours ago, and he said the most weirdest thing to Zanuck, and everyone was just like, "What?" Like that made no sense at all. Like that was incoherent. But that's Demark. At the same time, he'll ask somebody a question that, dude, he gets it. Like sometimes he just gets it, and he knows how to word it. Anyways, any Globers here?
Any other flat earthers we can talk about?
No, let's talk about Glober.
Oh,
I mean, talk to Globers. I mean, let's talk to Glober. I think.
Talking
Uh-huh.
about that type of thing isn't without its purposes. So, for example, Globers will come in here and they'll try to offer their proofs that the Earth is a globe, and a lot of their proofs are logical fallacies, assumptions, circular reasoning, appeals to authority, all these kinds of things. And very rarely do any of them actually come up with a methodology that would actually settle the matter.
Yeah, I don't think they can, to be honest. I don't think there's a way to that.
Their
And
biggest
that
appeal is usually their biggest appeal is, oh well, if I could send you up in a rocket and you turned around and saw the Earth as a giant sphere, would you believe it's a sphere, or would you acknowledge that it's a sphere? And it's basically asking, well, if you saw that the Earth is a sphere, would you be a dirty, rotten liar and still say it's flat? So it's basically an accusation against your character, not like an actual. Although sometimes it's actually genuine.
right. You know, it's interesting. When you look at some guys that record some drone footage, like when you look at it, when they go up and they're like, let's say they go like 5 feet off the ground, right? Like you got to kind of imagine it like, well, that's kind of like equivalent to like a rocket, going really high, or a plane or some type of vessel going high, because they're not really like going that high in relative to how high they say they can actually go. So if you're going like barely that high off the ground and you expect to see like this entire fucking
like even in their paradigm, like a 25,000 circumference ball, like that. I said it before, like dude, just get on a plane and fly from California to New York or New York to California. There's so much land, dude. It's crazy, and as far as you can see, like as high as you are, as far as you can see, and you're still barely over the same state that you're flying over. Like, dude, this world is humongous. Like, I mean, you fly over Texas, and that shit takes a while to get over, and all you see is Texas, nothing else. There's not you're not looking down and seeing like you're not going to look at Arkansas or Tennessee, or you're not looking at Nevada, or you're not or sorry, New Mexico or Arizona. Like you're not seeing all that. All you're seeing is Texas. That's it, and you're that high. Now imagine going just 3 times higher. What you expect to see like the entire United States all of a sudden? Like get the fuck out of here, dude. Their mind is
Well,
so warped
it
because they're
depends, dude.
brainwashed.
There's some videos from Jay Tolan of thousands of miles in infrared, and there's
Oh,
anecdotes from the SR-71 pilots. And they said that they're in a certain location and they can see all the way to some ridiculously far state.
oh yeah, no doubt. But that's 80,000 feet. I'm talking about people in planes at 35,000 feet. Like, and all you're seeing is
Yeah.
just the state. You're right. Like, it would literally take you to go more than twice as high, and that's just still you're only seeing like 2 or 3 states over, like from New Mexico to California. I think that one pilot, he said he was over, I think it was like New Mexico, and he could see, I think, Catalina, something like that. Like that's still, which is a huge fucking distance, and technically you shouldn't be seeing that shit on the ball, right? Because it should be on the other side of the curve, yada yada yada. But I'm just saying, these guys want to believe that you could, oh, if I take you up in a rocket, and what, you're gonna show me like 5 states beneath me? Great. Like I said, you're not going to see like all of United States just because you go up really, really high. Like this 80,000 feet, even the Red Bull jump, what was it, 120,000 feet? It was all he saw was just New Mexico or whatever. I think it was New Mexico. That's all he saw underneath him. Like, and I mean, like Jay Tolan, yeah, he can see 1,000 miles laterally, but that's because he has the infrared. But without the infrared, you're not seeing that at all. You're never going to see that without the infrared. You're just
Well,
going to see
dude, check
just
this out.
blurry.
If infrared refracts a lot less than regular light, and they claim you can see further because regular light is refracting, then that means in infrared you should see less far, not more far.
That's kind of a good point.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I got to get some work done, so you guys have fun.
All right, take it easy. Good talking to you. Did you change your name again? Yeah, you did. I don't see you in here. I heard your voice, but you changed your name, and I don't even know it. You're constantly changing it. There's any Glovers in here besides Brit? Brit's just muted though. You muted again, Brit. What do you do now?
Huh?
Hello?
Hey man, what's up?
Dad chat.
Yeah, what do you
We're just here listening to you geniuses.
Hell yeah, dude, I'm the biggest genius ever, dude. I know everything. So what do you
哎，
guys want to
你好，平地球
debate
啊？
about?
地球咋是平的？我操，你个蠢嘛！
哦，请上秤的盘进。Oh, you left.
That mute ninja got him.
Are you guys watching something, or is just no one's debating anything?
There is nothing to debate. There's no globe. They've given up on it. Now it's just story time when Globers come in.
Yeah, I was banned from Dark Dawkins because he's some crazy Christian who just likes to give a brand. So,
Wait, are those two guys that are muted right now globbers?
I don't know. I think so. Dude, the Earth is flat, 100%. Anyone who believes it's a globe is honestly a retard.
I mean, you can probably unmute those guys and get some kind of debate going on. Just assuming, but
Oh no, yeah, they don't have nothing.
okay.
Yeah, but they muted. Why? So why do people believe the Earth is round when there's like absolutely no proof?
No one will answer you.
Say people that believe we went to the moon. They're just dumbasses who believe whatever they're told in school. I'm about to take the best sleep ever.
Can you unmute the globbers just for a second? I just want to hear what they have to say, just for fun, you know, just for the fuck of it.
Why'd you mute him anyways, man?
No, not me. I mean, whoever is the mod here. Oh wait, they are Oh wait, no, they're mods of different rooms. Interesting. Okay, whatever. Anyway, never mind.
How you guys doing?
Just a quick check out there, everybody. My experience today, not a lot different than yesterday. Earth seeming to be pretty motionless. The sun was moving. I was breathing air. No no vacuum at the surface of Earth, and yeah, it seems pretty flat. So, if anybody wants to make an assertion with some evidence that they experienced anything different, um, I'm all ears. Maybe the Earth is. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe the Earth is exposed to a vacuum and is spinning and is a large curved surface. But that wasn't my experience today. I find it highly implausible, really, that there would be any oceans on the Earth if it was a ball that was exposed to a vacuous space. Because I believe the claim is that the entropic effects are much stronger than anything the supposed gravity could create. So I'm pretty sure that the gas would try to fill the vacuous void. But if anybody has any other evidence to, provide, I'm all ears. Why do we have oceans on the Earth? Why have they not evaporated? Why have they not filled the vacuous void of the endless universe expanding that we call space? Nora, what's up? Oh,
Hi.
Nora left. Oh, did you?
No, I'm right here.
Okay,
Hi.
cool. What's up? How are you?
Nothing much. How about yourself? Are we just chilling out tonight? Like everybody's like calmed the fuck down and like everybody's chilling out. Because if so,
Yeah, right now it's chill.
oh, good.
Yeah.
You gonna have a drink with me?
Oh, you can have a drink. I'll hang out. How about that?
Okay, I'm gonna have a drink. Let me go in the kitchen and get my alcohol. All right.
All right.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers. Now you can handle your booze, can't you? You're not going to get all crazy on us, right?
Yes, sir. I'm not.
All right.
Oh my god.
To bounce in, have a shot, avoid globe proof, and leave. All right. Anybody got globe evidence today? Anybody at all? Something we can talk about? Or is it the same as yesterday? You guys also experienced a flat, non-rotating pressurized system. What's up, G33?
What up, bro? How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good.
Yeah? You been in here before?
Yeah.
Okay. How'd it go?
I'm a long time listener, to be honest. I don't usually engage in the debates, but it's usually a good time.
All right. I got, what side do you fall on? I don't want to be divisive, but usually there's one or the other, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Nowadays I'm leaning more on the flat earth side of things, but I'm open to hearing all sides of the discussion.
Sure. If you're leaning flat, what? And by the way, I'm not selling any flat Earth models either. But what is it that might be keeping you on the fence?
Good question. I don't remember it entirely, but I had an argument against why compasses don't point to the South Pole. Someone had a pretty good argument against it, but I can't remember what it was. It was kind of compelling.
Why they don't? So what was the claim? Did you make a claim, or did somebody else, like a globe believer, talk about the compass?
I wasn't making a claim per se, but I was saying, why don't compasses point to the South Pole? Why do they only ever point to the
Okay.
North Pole?
Okay. All right. And someone had something convincing?
Yeah. I'll try and remember what they said. Something about the North Pole being dominant, or
Yeah, I think that the North Pole, as far as we know, is the only magnetic point, right, that would have an attraction. I don't believe that the South, there's anything about it that would indicate that there's any kind of, if you were to they talk about it like it's a bar magnet, the Earth being a bar magnet. Essentially, there's negative and positives. But we don't get any of those effects. We only have an attraction to the north, which is why all compasses point to the north, right? But I could be wrong about that. But um, then again, we'd have to have an antipodal situation, and then we'd have to have the curvature, and that's the thing we're looking for, right? As as people who are trying to pursue the truth here, we're actually just trying to find curvature somewhere, and that's the biggest problem we have.
yeah, right. I'll tell you what. Give me a second. I think I can get the guy who actually was explaining this to me about the North and South Pole and the compass dilemma. Give me 1 second.
All right.
All right, this is the guy that made the argument about the North and South Pole and the compass.
Oh man, more 33s. What's up, JJ?
Yo, what up, bro? How can I help you?
I was told that you have an answer for us about the North and the South poles, or at least a convincing argument.
Oh yeah. Me and Gary's cousin were talking about this because he was saying, well, there's a flat Earth argument about a compass in the North Pole. No.
I don't know if I could say that a lot of people make an argument that way. But there would need to be some presuppositions about a ball. The North Pole or the northern area is where, obviously, if you hold a compass, that's where the needle's going to point to. Now, you also have to hold the compass flat. It doesn't necessarily mean the Earth is flat, but it's fairly coincidental. That's as much as I could say.
So yeah, Gary's cousin was saying, well, a compass always points north. Why won't it point south? And I was reading something on Google, and it looks like the North Pole and the South Pole are not magnetized the same way and to the same degree. There's a different magnetism, and that's why a compass will point to north instead of south. Now, you know how over the last 10, 15 years in the whole New Age community, they're saying the poles are shifting, everything's changing?
Oh, yeah.
Just by chance, when I was looking at this thing about why a compass points north and doesn't point south, it said that the poles were shifted something like 800,000 years ago. So what was north was south, and what was south was north, because the poles shift slowly over time is what it looks like. So if you go hundreds of thousands of years back and you took a compass back in a time machine, I think the compass would point south, not north.
Well, you would also have to believe the premise, right? Yeah, but you'd have to believe the premise. The age for one. Then number two, that the poles on a ball are like a bar magnet, and then number three, that there's any Earth curvature that would tell us that we're on a ball. All those things would have to be a part of that argument. So we kind of try to attack.
So do you think the poles have never shifted before whatsoever?
Well, I'd have to be shown a South Pole first, right? And then I would have to be shown how the Earth is a bar magnet. These are all presuppositions. These are all premises that are yet to be proven.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah. All right. Sure.
I mean, I'm just saying, if Google says it, so what, right? If there's an article or something, I mean, these are knowledge claims, and it's like, man, these are huge knowledge claims. Where to get the information to even make such a claim?
So on a flat Earth model, there are no poles whatsoever.
Well, I want to be, hyper specific and careful about things. So there is no flat Earth model. Anybody that says that they are a flat Earth are running around.
Oh, come on, bro! You know what I'm talking about. Whatever
showing
model
an
you're
map
talking
with
about,
which.
Bro, whatever model
Okay,
you're
well,
talking about.
Bro, you can relax. I'm talking to you honestly. Okay, so there is no model for the flat Earth. Is this how it works? You get really upset and then you go on mute.
Yeah. Because
what model are you talking about?
Okay, I'm talking about a ball model, a fucking ball, bro. What model are you talking about? Don't
show it to me. Show me the ball model and tell me where you got the ball model. Why don't you show me where you got your ball model?
Okay, what model do you have? Or is it a no model?
I don't have one. I told you that already.
Okay, so
there's no model. The Earth is measured flat.
What do you think the model would look like?
I don't think that there is a model that it would look like. It's obviously flat. Why do you want me to give you a conceptualization? That's how we got in this mess in the first place.
Oh, jeez.
Do we just think about things, conceptualize them, and then they end up being actually just the reality? If we conceptualize it, is it reality? Is that how it works?
You sound like a female who just got caught cheating. What model would you think of in your mind if there was a model? Let's be hypothetical. This is a thought experiment. A thought experiment. Humor me. Humor me.
Are you not
Please.
interested in is this your religion?
Is he cutting out for
Yeah.
anyone else, or is it just me?
No, he's cutting out really bad.
Let's talk about reality for a minute. Let's not talk about things that we want to imagine, okay?
Okay, what model do you believe exists?
I don't have a model. I'm not going to give you a model. Now, if you want to present one, go ahead.
All right. Are you also a tranny? You're not a boy. You're not a girl. Like, what's going on?
Of course, that's totally analogous, right? Terrible equivalence. So, do you have a model that you would like to present? Yes or no?
Yes, the ball model, the ball model, the globe model, the sphere model.
Okay.
Ball.
And what is that based on? What is that based on?
All the shit I learned in school, the shit I saw on the internet, the shit on Google, all the people who you think are lying to us about the shape.
So, you don't have any basis for this model. It is just a rumor that you heard, correct?
I would not phrase it that way, but if you want to, go ahead, bro.
You don't have any evidence of it in reality, then. This is just a rumor and you believe it. This is your religion.
Not my religion, just a belief. I don't worship it.
Terrific. Great. So it's a belief. That's fine. Why do you believe it? Because everybody else does?
No, it's just what makes sense to me. Personal preference.
Okay. Why does it make sense to you?
Because it does. And everything I've ever seen for a round Earth, everything I've ever known, all the flat Earth shit, it's never compelling. It's never interesting. It never makes sense. It's very dirty. It's very muddy. I'll take my round Earth model.
Okay. So there's no curvature in reality on the Earth, and yet you're going to stick with the ball.
Yeah, I'll stick with the ball, bro.
Okay. So this is your preferred religion, and that's fine. I didn't ask you to come in here and, try to convert anybody. I'm not going to convert you. I just find it interesting that most people that believe in the globe don't have any basis for it in reality, but they do have a lot of rumor, and all their friends believe it, and so therefore they're going to stick with it.
I find it very interesting that you can't even conceptualize a hypothetical model in your own mind.
Would it be helpful for you if I constructed a model so then you could tear it apart? Would you like me to make a bunch of assumptions about things I don't know and then go ahead and give that to you so you can tear that down? Would that be good for you?
Yes, and yes.
Okay, great. I'll tell you what, since we've already done that with the globe, I'll give you a flat Earth model. It's flat and it's stationary. There you go.
Gary's cousin, what do you think?
Why is it flat and why is it stationary?
Well, that's the experience that I had today. I went out and it looked flat, and I didn't feel like I was moving, and I was breathing air. And so all of those things lead me to believe that I'm on a flat and stationary plane. Now, if you have evidence that that could be something different, like curvature of the Earth that we could measure somewhere, that would be a great place to start. But so far, all we ever do is use the Earth as a flat, stationary plane in every circumstance. We build on it, we navigate it, all that stuff as flat and stationary. This would all be over if someone would just show us the Earth curve in reality, somewhere, anywhere.
How many people are in chat right now? Yeah, we're at 23. Chill the fuck out, dude. Yeah, we have 23 people in there. Yeah, I know the cap is 25 and stuff like that. Now we're down to 22 and stuff like that. So once we hit 24, I'll turn my camera off.
Hey, Nora. I asked you earlier about the drinking and being cool, and so far you're proving to me that that's not possible for you. So if Heretic asks you to uncam.
We're not even at. I'll be respectful about it. We're not even at like 23 or 24.
No, not respectful. Just go ahead and uncam.
Yeah, get off the camera. It's not up for debate. Do it or get blocked.
Dude, fine. I'll fucking leave.
See ya.
That works.
So no globe evidence, just wishful thinking, believing what other people believe, trusting the authority, but no evidence. I see. Once again.
That is true, but I'll say this. I'll take the authority over some corny ass YouTube videos any day.
What does this have to do with YouTube videos? Why would you bring that up? I'm talking about reality. So you're taking the authority known to be very dishonest, and then you're not going to take reality for it.
You need to admit something. We've all seen the same corny ass flat earth shit off YouTube. Nobody here should act like we haven't. Unless there's some hardcore flat earth nerds in here who just dove into some books and never got on YouTube. If you never got on YouTube, what are you doing on Discord? We've all seen the same videos.
Bro, we've all seen the corny ass shit on YouTube and TV and textbooks about the globe as well, right?
Correct.
Correct. So I'm not basing my reality on what I see in a book or on TV. Okay? Let's talk about reality. Where's the curvature of the ball in reality?
Okay, can you contemplate, hypothetically, standing on a giant ball that is huge? Really, really huge. So huge that you cannot visually see any curvature. Can you comprehend
No,
that?
that's
Yes
not
or
the
no?
claim. Excuse me, that's not the claim. The claim is that the ball is the size that you can see the curvature. Do you know the size of the ball? Yes or no?
No, I'd have to Google it, bro. But can you contemplate?
Google it up. Google it up because you're making a play out of ignorance. The ball is supposed to be detected from the surface. Did you know that? Maybe you should look that up too.
I don't know what you're talking about, but if you happen to
Of course you don't, because you haven't bothered to look it up. So why don't you look it up?
If you happen to know the size of the Earth, just tell us.
No, this is your own personal journey. I know it, but you're going to have to see for yourself how small it really is, instead of making baseless claims about how it's so big and we could never see the curve.
Yes, that's what I'm claiming. That's what I'm claiming.
Okay. Educate yourself and find out. Google it. Unless you want to maintain your ignorance. If you want to deny, then don't look it up for yourself. By all means, do the same thing that all the other Globers do and just ignore information and not challenge it.
Okay. So says who? You do not know the size of the Earth.
Oh, I absolutely do.
Okay, then humor us. Just tell us real quick.
All right, but it's not going to be good for you, man. It's going to be a radius of 3,959 miles, 8 inches per mile drop rate from everywhere. Squared, 8 inches per mile squared.
3,000 miles, yes?
Yeah, almost 4,000, 3,959 miles.
Okay, now imagine standing on a basketball that is roughly 1
We're
foot
not
in length.
imagining, we're measuring. Let's measure. Do you want to measure or do you not want to measure?
Hold up. Now imagine.
I'm not going to go with you into imagination land. You need to show me 8 inches per mile squared drop rate. That's the claim.
Okay. Now, when you're standing on a basketball that has over a 3.
I don't stand on basketballs. I don't even think I'm standing on an earth ball unless I can see 8 inches per mile square drop rate.
Why do we
Okay,
have to go? Why do we have to go to imagination all the time with you Globers? I don't get that.
Okay, you
All,
don't
because
like
it's a
my
religion, Sonny.
imagination? You don't like my imagination?
No, it sucks because it's not in reality. We don't want to imagine with you. Okay.
How the fuck do you think these fucking physicists theorized all this crazy advanced mathematics and shit? How do
Oh,
you
so
think
you're
they
telling me
pulled
this
that
is
off?
all on imagination? Not all of this is imagination, and none of it is real. So your entire life is based on somebody else's imagination, and you imagine with them.
Listen, I don't know what you're trying to say. What are you trying to say?
That you can't prove
Well,
any
you
of
haven't
it.
given me any facts. You've just talked about imagination and hypotheticals, none of which you've proved yet. So if you can prove it in reality for me, that would be fantastic.
Okay, let me say something real quick. No matter what scientific shit I Google,
No, I don't want you to tell me about what I will or will not accept. I want you to show me the evidence in reality. I don't want you to hypothesize. I want you to show me. Is that so difficult?
you're trying to gaslight me right now in a very, very nasty way. And that is very
I'm
rude.
asking you
That
a
is very
question.
sick.
And
That is
you
very
show
sick.
me in reality where the
No,
Earth curve is. It's a question.
you're being very sick. I told you, think
That you want
about
to imagine it.
standing on a
Yes.
basketball that's roughly 1 foot in radius, and then think about standing on a basketball that is roughly over 3,000 miles in radius.
Why do we
There's a
have to
big
imagine?
difference.
Why do we have to
Okay,
imagine?
because this is my argument. You can shit on it all you want, but this is my argument, okay?
JJ, we're already standing on the Earth. We don't have to imagine anything. You can either show me the curvature on the ball that you think that you're standing on, or you're going to tell me, imagine the ball being so big that you don't see the curvature. So in reality, I guess to you, we should never see it because it's way too big.
Yes, you cannot see it with the naked human eye.
Then how did they know?
Okay, so why do they have, Sonny, why do they have a globe Earth curve calculator then?
What do you mean, why do they have a globe Earth calculator?
Why do they have an Earth curve calculator that you can, type in your observer height and then the distance to the object that you're looking at and see how much should be occulted by the Earth curve?
Okay, so that they can calculate the curvature of the Earth. No.
So it should be seen then, correct?
Seen by the naked eye? No. Mathematics and mathematics only.
So not in reality then?
No, it is in reality. It's just not what you want to
Oh,
hear.
so it's in reality, so you can show it to me.
I could show you in mathematics.
So not in reality.
No, mathematics is
Okay.
reality. Mathematics
Math is reality.
the language of our reality.
No, it's just a description. Could you show me -9 apples?
-9 apples?
Yeah, that's a mathematic description. -9 apples. Can you show that to me?
In mathematics, yes.
Okay. No, but I mean, can you show me -9 in reality?
I don't know. This is getting
You don't know.
I do
You
not
don't
know.
know. Well, you told me that math is reality, so -9 apples should be able to be seen, right?
This is not a gotcha moment. How is this?
It's an absolute gotcha moment. Okay.
Why?
So mathematics is reality, but you can't show me -9 apples.
Okay. So tell me about this 3,000-mile pizza pie we live on.
Who said anything about a pizza pie?
I did.
Why did you bring that up? Do you have a flat Earth model you'd like to show us, JJ?
Oh, yeah. If I Google it, there's tons, but you've already seen them all. Now, here's the deal. I was arguing with some flat earthers in the Twitter Spaces, and they were going through the same spiel you're going through. How do you know blah, blah, blah? And I go, because of the physicists. I listened to the physicists. They said, what physicists? I said, I don't know, the guys I seen on fucking TV, Michio Kaku, whoever the fuck. And then they go, well, what kind of physics are you into? And I go, I don't know. The only physics I know. And they go, well, what physics do you know? And I go, I don't know, whatever one they're fucking talking about. And they go, ha ha, you don't know the difference between Newtonian physics and Einstein physics and this physics? Is this where you're going to next? Yes or no?
No, I'm asking you if you can show me negative 9 apples. You said no, so apparently math is not reality. Number 2, I don't really care about your anecdotes, okay? I don't care about who you were talking with on Twitter. It doesn't matter to me. I'm
Sorry,
talking
my
to
friend,
you. I
but
want to
all you
see
guys
if you
do
can
come
show
from the
me.
same.
Okay, so if you could just show me, instead of throwing a big old baby fit and bringing your feelings in here, do you think you could show me any curvature in reality? Especially since they have a globe Earth calculator.
Come on.
Is it gaslighting? How is it
Yeah, you've been
gaslighting?
doing the whole. This is worse than Professor Dave.
How is it gaslighting? Explain to me define gaslighting and then tell me if that's what I'm doing. Define it.
Your emotions are running just as high as his, in my opinion.
Absolutely not. Can you
We
go
don't
ahead
even
and
need to
show me
talk
what
about them. We don't even
gaslighting
need to
is?
talk about them.
Bro,
We don't even need to
so
talk
you don't
about
want to
them.
talk about the thing that you went ahead and accused me of. You don't want to talk about what you accused
I
me
didn't
of.
accuse
What
you
is
of anything. Now
gaslighting?
you're gaslighting me.
You gaslighted me of gaslighting.
Stop.
You,
Do you want me to
Stop.
tell you what
I
gaslighting
didn't
is?
accuse you of
I can
anything.
explain
Just
gaslighting.
stop.
I can explain gaslighting. I promise I can explain
I have a
gaslighting.
serious question.
I've actually already told you what gaslighting is. I've told you what gaslighting is.
okay,
I have a question.
go ahead.
Who's a flat earther here?
Oh, I am.
I'm a square earther.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because this is a bit suspicious to me, but there's this guy named NASA Shield in another server, and he says that you could send a signal from a radio, bounce it off to the sun, and then 16 minutes it comes back, and that proves that it's 93 million miles away. Do you believe this shit, or?
No. It's a heck of a claim. I guess you'd have to see if the sun is a physical object that would bounce radio signals off of it. What is the sun?
Black-bodied object that absorbs light.
You don't believe it's 93 million miles away, right? You believe it's like 5,000 or 3,000?
No, I don't have a belief about the sun. I don't even know what it is. All I know is it's a bright light in the sun. Seems like there's heat coming off of it. Bright light in the sky. That's all it is, dude. How could I possibly know anything else
You
about
also
the
know that it's
sun?
an energy source, right? There's more things.
Oh, I guess so. Sure, an energy source, but
It also
is
gives
it
you
is it an object? Is it an object?
I don't know, but I think there's more things you know about
Me
it.
neither. There's light that comes off of it. There's a lot of things that happen, a phenomena associated with it. But I'm not going to tell you that I know what it is or how far away it is or if you can bounce radio signals off of it.
Well, all life on Earth comes from the sun.
All life on Earth comes from the sun?
Essentially, yeah.
Essentially, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How could you prove that?
Because everything would be dead without the sun.
That's false. So nothing would happen. So you could just have the sun and nothing else, and that gives you all life.
Well, it's the main energy source that creates, it helps plants.
How could you explain
No, you need
life
water and
like in deep
oxygen too.
oceans?
Sorry?
I'm sorry, somebody was
How do
cutting
you
in there.
explain life in deep oceans, like where the sun does not get in?
Doesn't the sun penetrate down there?
No, not to the bottom.
The light
no.
does not actually penetrate.
Well, that's a good question. I haven't thought about that.
And how do you explain life underneath the soil?
I haven't thought about that. But I think most of life, at least on the surface of the Earth, is definitely comes from the sun mainly. Of course, there's other factors.
The sun is a pivotal part of the system, but I don't think you can say that all life comes from it. You need other things.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could frame it in a different way, but yeah.
Sure.
The Earth, the sun, 93 million miles away is too much of a discrepancy between that model and 3,000 miles away. So
No one claimed anything about a distance to the sun. I don't know why you're bringing up
They
3,000
do. Flat
miles.
earthers claim it's 3,000 to 5,000.
Whoa, bro, that's a stereotype fallacy. Why are you bunching everybody together? There might be some people that make that claim, but so what? Are you going to say that I make the same claim?
Well, not everyone, but majority do it. Let's just say.
Listen, I've talked to a lot of flat earthers over the course of my life, and I have met basically none that have said that. I've seen it on a couple of YouTube videos, but that's not definitive.
I've seen a couple
If I
joking
missed what
about
he
it.
said, sorry.
I've heard people joking about it that a Glober helped us measure it at one of the FE get-togethers. I joke about it.
Majority of the flat earthers that I know, usually the way they operate is they say it's 3,000 to 5,000 miles away, and then they'll say they don't know after a while, right? Some of them will say, no, I believe it's a concave Earth now. And then some of them will say, well, we don't know the shape of the Earth anymore
Yeah, you're
after a
just
while.
scattergunning.
Okay, yeah, never heard that before.
This is just like a fallacy and an anecdotal fallacy. Do you actually have any globe evidence, or did you come in here to just like talk smack?
I'm not a globe earther. I'm
So it
just
sounds
stating
like
the
a
fact.
Flat Earth Society sent him or some bullshit, so.
Okay, we'll switch over to Glober right now because you behave just like one. So you need to put the shoe on.
He's probably a concave.
Let me tell you all the things that
I'm not a globe earther. I'm not a flat earther. I'm a truth seeker. I'm a truth seeker.
So I'm just going to ask you some things about what your day felt like to you, and you can tell me if they're true or not. Did it feel like the Earth was moving all day today?
I can't answer that because if I know where you're going with this, but the thing is, they're saying it moves based on a big distance, so we'll never know.
No, that's not true. Actually, the claim is that the Earth is accelerating constantly. It's angular velocity. So you would definitely feel it.
Okay, I'll answer your question based on your question of my feelings. No, I did not feel the Earth move today.
Great. Like I'm not gonna hold it over your head. It's not a gotcha. So you did feel the Earth move. Now I don't know where you live, but geographically, a lot of people live in areas where it's very, it's a plain, not a lot of undulations. But I live in a hilly area. But is there any time that you've ever seen the curve of the Earth? In reality.
The only time is if I go to the beach or the ocean, I see the ship fucking sailing away.
Okay. And it seems like it's disappearing, right, from some sort of bottom-up obstruction? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So we experience the same thing. But the rough part about that is that can we really isolate that that apparent obstruction being the Earth curve? That's the difficult part, because if it was the curve of the Earth, it would be happening in a very predictable place, because the Earth is supposed to be a ball, right, with a radius of 3,959 miles, as I explained to JJ earlier. He didn't know that, but I enlightened him. He challenged me. I answered the call. So that means that the horizon, if it was the curve of the Earth, if it was blocking boats and buildings in the distance, would have to start occulting things at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Meaning, if you put a camera, let's say about, a foot above the surface of the water at the ocean, then the Earth curve should begin to occult things in the distance at about 1.22 miles. And then there would be an exponential rate after that. Well, we tried this. And we found no Earth curve. In fact, the horizon moves all over the doggone place in, an apparent position as to where you're observing it from and your height. So that means that the horizon can't be Earth curve. So we don't actually see Earth curve anywhere except for YouTube videos, TV, and textbooks.
So if the Earth is flat, why is the whole world lying about it then, and all the religions?
The whole world's not lying about it. most religions are based on a stationary and closed cosmology. The only people that are actually talking about it being a ball tend to be the governments, but they're not hiding anything. You can go check and see if there's curvature anywhere. They're just giving you an alternate reality, a story to believe.
So basically, if I'm on a clear day, if I'm in Manhattan, if I have like a really good zoom, I can see the Eiffel Tower.
Why would you think that?
No, but that's my question. Like,
I mean, just why would you think that?
and there's no abstraction, to my view, and I have a really good zoom, and I'm like literally like basically in Times Square, and I just zoom a little bit, I can see the Eiffel Tower.
So you think that air is completely transparent? Is that right? Air is completely transparent. There's no attenuation of light, even in the medium of air.
I said if I have a really clear view, so.
Yeah, well, we're talking about thousands of miles, which means thousands of cubic feet, right? Tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of cubic feet of air that you're looking through. You think you can see through all that with all the dust, smog, humidity, refraction? Yes, refraction. You think you can see through all that to something that would be an angular size, quite small, probably impossible to see?
How about a really bright light at the top of the Eiffel Tower? Would I be able to see it?
Dude, what did I just say? Did you ignore the whole thing?
I just said a really bright light, since it's going to pierce through all that density you've just described.
How bright? Do you know about the attenuation of light?
Really, really bright. Like 100,000 lumen or 1 million lumen. On a really
I don't know.
dark, clear night.
You should test it out. I mean, we've done laser tests over bodies of water for 25 miles.
Answers.
If you want an answer, light attenuates, and through the medium of air, especially depending on how many cubic feet of air you're going to be looking through, it doesn't matter how powerful a light or how powerful a zoom you got. You're only going to see so far. Now you can fact check me on this.
Telescope? Really?
Yeah, dude. What do you think telescopes do? They don't cut through air. They just magnify things. They're only available to what light is going to be coming through the lens.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay. So the question still remains. There's no curvature measured anywhere on Earth unless you can show it to me. Can you show me any curvature?
There is. They're saying there's a test that was done 2,000 years ago.
Right. Okay. So you're going to talk about something with two faulty pre-assumptions. It's called Eratosthenes. I'll just do it for you. We can go through this. Do you want to go through Eratosthenes?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you assume, first of all, that the Earth is a ball, and then you assume that the sun is an infinite distance away, and that the light rays, quote unquote rays, which are not real, only mathematical concepts, are coming in parallel, then you can assume that two sticks in the dirt, vertical, will cast shadows at differing lengths. The problem is, if you have a sun that's nearby and a flat plane, the same phenomena occurs. So it is inconclusive, and it's a great way to trick people that don't know how to logically think about simple little rhetorics like Eratosthenes. So that's another ripoff that most of you fell for.
What are we talking about today, y'all?
We're talking about people getting ripped off by bad rhetoric.
Oof, what happened?
All know someone about, back in the 80s, because that's about as old as anybody's ever heard of this story. There's a rumor about a guy named Eratosthenes, but there's no primary source data about it. 2,000 years ago, they put two sticks in the ground and measured lengths of shadows, and all of a sudden the Earth's a ball. Really terrible rhetoric. Most people believe it, and therefore they believe in a heliocentric religion. That's what we're talking about.
Oh, okay. I should have read the top. Flat Earth. You guys are flat earthers.
Yes, sir.
I got no beef with you guys.
You're in a server. It's called Flat Earth, and then you're asking you guys are flat earthers. Of course they are.
Well, yeah, like as I stated 15 seconds ago, I said I should have read the top.
Yeah, he corrected himself. He said he didn't check. Don't be harsh. We're just asking people if they have any concrete evidence in reality for Earth curve anywhere.
So how do you
I haven't found it.
sunrise and sunset then?
The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Next question.
Does it go? Okay, so with the flat Earth, at some point, does the sun revolve around the Earth? Like,
I have no idea. I don't know what the sun or moon are. It appears that they set, right? It's an apparent effect. I don't know what causes it, but on the small scale, we can recreate it. But, small scale, hard to recreate things that we see in real life.
It's safe to assume you don't believe in the moon landing either, right?
I don't even know if the moon is something that can be landed on.
Flat Earth.
Man.
Do you believe there's a dome that you can't escape this Earth basically?
But when you say you don't know, sorry, like your ignorance is not evidence, is it?
I didn't say it was. Did I say that my ignorance was evidence? Did I say that me not making claims is evidence of anything?
Exactly.
Right. So what are you asking the question
what
for?
I'm saying.
So do you have any evidence that anybody landed on the moon?
It does not exist.
So do you have any evidence that the moon is what you think it is?
No, I was not talking about that.
Okay, so I didn't make any claims about the moon.
No,
What are you talking about?
Okay, I'll explain myself if you let me. Because when he asks you a question, you say, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, like, constituted of or whatever. So you don't answer the question. You just say, I don't know. And you just make it seem as if it's an answer.
So me answering the question honestly is not an answer? I don't know what the moon is. I see it at night like everybody else does.
Yeah.
Do I owe you an explanation?
Let me
Hold on a
explain
second.
it. Hold on. Let me explain it another way that what this guy's trying to say.
It's not an explanation.
Hold on a second. Do I owe you an explanation as to what the moon is? And if you think that's true, why don't you tell me why?
That's not what I'm saying.
Well, then what are you saying?
You're not giving any answer. You're the only thing you're saying.
Who cares?
Is, I don't know.
I'm being honest with you. I don't know what the moon is.
Being honest.
This is not about being honest. You want me to make some shit up?
Like why? Like you make it sound as you're giving an answer, but you don't know.
I'm giving an answer. The guy asked me. I told him I don't know. That's the best answer I can give you. I'm not going to make stuff up. I'm not going to lie to people. Do you want me to lie to people?
He asked you for an explanation.
I don't owe you an explanation. I don't owe you nothing. Why would I explain to you what the moon is if I don't know what it is? Do you know what the moon is?
I mean,
no, you don't know what the moon is either. It's a light in the sky. You don't know anything about it. There you go. Now you're telling me about your beliefs. You believe it's a rock. Can you verify that for me?
So anything that I cannot verify would be irrelevant. Is that what you?
Pretty much. Yeah, it's irrelevant. I don't think that's interesting. I think that's reasonable. But that's just me. I don't really care about your religious beliefs, bro. I really don't. I want to see what you can verify. See, most of this entire globe religion is all based on what people believe, but no empirical evidence. Zero empirical evidence.
Interesting. So I would just follow your example and say I don't know and make it seem like an answer.
Dude, I don't care. Tell me you don't know. I don't know anybody that knows what the moon is. They tell me it's a light in the sky, and then they repeat all the beliefs that they have about it that they were told by strangers in textbooks and on TV. But they don't know anything about it. They just believe the lore, the story, and I don't care.
You're missing the point of what he was saying.
What is the point? Maybe you can expound for me.
Well, I was explaining it until one of your Nazi mods muted me, but the point is...
It was me. I muted you because you were interjecting and I was having a two-way conversation, but now I'm going to talk to you. Go ahead.
What he's saying is, when you say you don't know and other people are telling you they do know, you can't just reject it because you don't know.
I would like someone to tell me that they know what it is and then give me empirical evidence as to that claim. So do you know what the moon is?
No, I don't, but there's a bunch of globe earthers that know what it is. They claim it at least.
Where are they? If they've been to the moon and can verify this claim, I would certainly like to see it.
Flat Earth.
I love how people say there's a bunch of people that do know, and then after that, nothing. We're going to appeal to complete strangers about our worldview.
If you go to Gem Panda server, there's a bunch of globe earthers in there.
Yeah, I know.
That will tell you with facts why they think the moon exists.
Why they think. There it is. See? Why they... No one's... Dude, the moon exists. I see the moon just like you do. What is it?
Just a question to go in between. Do you believe the moon is round or also flat? Or do you know
It's obviously circular in nature. Now, if you want to go and expound and say it's a sphere, well, then you tell me how you can verify that it's a sphere.
Well, from empirical evidence.
Great. So it's going to be observable, testable,
it's observable.
repeatable, and falsifiable. It's going to fit all those criteria.
Yeah, it's just...
Okay, great. So let's start at number one. We observe the moon to be a sphere. Show me that.
If you can let me talk, I'll tell you how we observed it. There were lots of pictures taken of the moon, which observe a wobble in the moon. So certain sides of the moon are visible at certain times of the year. And that will show us that it is a curve. There is a curvature.
Post it in chat. Post it in chat that we have empirical, right, and photographs. And I'm not talking about images, photographs, right? We'll start there. So the observation is that the moon, we can see all 360 degrees of it. Post it in chat, and we'll move on from there. We have an observation and a claim.
Not all 360 degrees, of course, from the Earth.
Oh, so then we're not going to be verifying that this is a sphere at any point then, correct?
No. We observe a curve. We can't. We obviously can't see the entire moon because, well, even from a globe Earth perspective, there is a dark side and a light side to the moon. But there is certain sides of that dark side that show into the light side at certain times of the year.
Post it in chat, bro. I don't want to hear your mouth flap. I want to see.
Let me search it up. I'll do it in a sec. I don't have that at the already 1, 2, 3, you know.
Right. Well, if a claim is going to be made, then the next thing is evidence.
Yeah, it could be a sec.
Know what he's talking about. It doesn't. It's not exclusive to a sphere.
It's true. Anybody else have any claims that they can verify what the moon is?
I come before you to explain.
So
Not explain, prove.
okay.
So
Okay.
the claim
to
is
prove.
what?
Yes, that it's a sphere. I'm backing up Persia. Right.
That's the claim.
Let me see if I can get this. Okay, the photo hasn't saved. So basically, I'll explain it as I save it and send it to you. This image is an image showing the shadow on a moon. If you shine a light on a ball, the edge between the shadow and the light will be curved because of the curvature of the sphere. And with photos that we have of the shadow and the barrier between the shadow and the light side of the moon, we can see the curvature.
You're just making a bunch of claims. We have to start with the first one.
Okay. Do you believe that light travels in a straight line?
No,
Which
that's
is
not
inherently
asking me a
doesn't. It's affected by
question,
gravity.
Danny.
Yes.
You're claim stacking really quickly, like you're talking so fast. You said the moon is a sphere. The next thing you do is you show me empirically that the moon is a sphere. Then we can talk about shadows and stuff.
Can I ask another question then, so I understand what, like, your entire thoughts on what I'm saying?
Why would you ask me a question when you're supposed to be proving a ball?
Because without knowing exactly what you want to say, I don't know the best way to go about proving it.
Okay, so you want to figure out whether or not my standards of evidence are as low as yours. Is that kind of what you're going for? Like if it's just a
Not
good
in any
enough
way.
explanation? Okay.
Also,
So what do you want to know?
Is there a chat I can actually post? What chat can I post images in? Because the chat connected
Well,
to the voice chat won't let me.
Well, you may.
Who
How new are you to this particular server? Because if you're very new, or if you're very new to politics, and you're
I
going to
can
have to
give
wait
him
for
the
some time to
levels so he
post
can post
things.
an image. Just
Alright, that's fine then.
who is it?
Yeah, give it to him.
Is it Danny?
Yeah,
Yeah,
same
that's
for
right.
me.
I'm gonna-
I can't post anything.
You should be able to post it now, I think.
Amazing, yeah. Thank you. Right. This is the image I wish to talk about.
Okay.
So if I want to just, like you said earlier, bring it down to a smaller model. If you had, for example, a red bouncy ball, and you had a lamp, and you shone the lamp on one side of it, and you took a photo from the side, you'll see the curve of the shadow. If you did that on something flat, there would not be curve of a shadow at all, or any other shape. I guess ovals maybe, but haven't really done much of that. So, as I would argue, that's fairly good evidence that it is at least curved in multiple dimensions.
Well, obviously, you can see that there's dimension to the moon, right? It certainly looks like there's craters or indentations or some undulations on the moon. What you need to show me is that this is a ball with evidence, not just saying I see a shadow and then therefore.
Well, okay, but that is literally the whole of every single bit of science. This is my evidence, and therefore this is true. You can't have.
No, that's not true at all. The scientific method is empirical. So
give me an example.
This is even an unfalsified. Well, you'd have to test your hypothesis. What is your hypothesis in this scenario? Keeping in mind that there is no phenomena other than a shadow on the moon. So how can you test to see what the cause of the shadow on the moon is?
By testing with light on different shaped objects and seeing the outcome.
Right. So below you can see Subdued even showed for you. I mean, obviously he's using a sphere here, but a flat object, right? Which I'm not saying that the Earth is a flat object, but you can create the same scenario. You can also create the same scenario with a flat thing, right? A circle, I can cover up half of a circle with a shadow.
And that'll be a straight line barrier.
Okay.
Because it's a 2D object.
Right. Are you saying that this curvature is consistent with a sphere?
Not necessarily consistent with a sphere. I'm just saying it is curved in multiple dimensions.
Okay, but we're still looking for the sphere bit.
Okay, all right. I want you to look at that. Let me see if I can find a full moon image. On a full moon, right? You can see it's at least a circle. Yes.
It looks like a circle, yeah.
Okay, it looks like a circle. And as Burge was saying earlier, you see the wobble as different sides slightly change shape, slightly change sizes, which implies rotation. Yeah.
Well, show me that. I don't know what you're talking. What wobble?
It's
Let me
like
see if I can.
different craters show up at different times of the year. It's there's different pictures. We can find some if you really want to, but they're just out there, and you could just, if you wanted to test that yourself, you could.
Well, bro, I'll look it up. But I mean, right now, this is your claim. I'd kind of like you to bring your claim with your evidence.
Yeah,
like, I'm happy to see it. I'm not denying it, right? But I want to see what it is that you're talking about.
So, okay, I'm going to do the same as earlier. I'm going to bring it down to a smaller scale. If you had like a tennis ball, for example, you'd have the sphere itself, the ball underneath, and then you'd have the fuzz. As the fuzz rotates, the outsides of it may... sorry, I'm reading the chat at the same time. The outsides of the circle may slightly change in dimensions, but that's because of the surface of it. That, as a silhouette, would look like almost like a wobble, which is my brief explanation of the moon wobble. So what is basically being said is that there is implied rotation on the moon.
No.
And because of its however long a moon cycle is, I can't remember that off the top of my head.
It's 28 days.
Thank you. There's 28 days
I'm asking you for empirical evidence, and you keep using terms like implied.
The
and I'm not even asking about rotation. I need you to show me the empirical evidence, and I know that you don't have it because you're not going to be able to hit the empirical criteria.
Do you want me? I'm saying implied because if I didn't, you would tell me, but that's just implied. That is why I'm saying implied.
Do you have something that's not implied?
The thing is, if we really wanted to show you the good empirical evidence, we'd need to gather pictures that identify craters in each picture as to show you which craters move or like different compared to the other image. And neither of us have those at fucking standby because it's not something I just have on my PC, you know.
So you don't have anything. You have implications, and you have wishful thinking, and you have no rotation, but you have implication.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I can find it for you. I can find.
It'll just take time.
I can even
chop. We got all night. It's 24/7, right? 24/7 flat Earth. We'll be here.
Okay. I just forgot my other thing.
Well, just a question, just like throughout all of this, do you believe that the moon is its own light source?
Is that something that I should believe?
No. Just is that something you believe or not?
I really can't tell. I mean, it's just a light in the sky. I don't know if it gives off its own or not. I don't even know what the source of the light is. If it's the object or if it's a reflection, I have no idea. I don't even know if the moon is an object. So I really don't know.
So, right.
It's a reflection. That's how the moon cycle comes to stand.
Well, I mean, that's the explanation that you've been given, but you can't prove that either.
That's the only way it works.
So earlier on,
the only way. So this is an affirmative claim. Hold on a second. We have a new claim on the table. The only way that the moon phases would work is based on what?
That it's not its own light source. Because if it was flat, we wouldn't have a crescent moon.
So, have you ever had like a night bright? Do you have let me ask you a different question. Do you have an LCD screen? The one you're probably looking at?
I don't think this one is. Just find out.
It's not AMOLED. Is it LED?
Right, let me just search up the monitor real quick.
Yeah, your monitor is going to be LCD or LED. That's pretty much all screens, unless you're using a tube, which I doubt in this day and age.
That'd be pretty sick, though.
Yeah, it would be cool. Awesome analog retro room, right? So you have a device that can show you a moon phase and it produces its own light.
Yeah, it's an LCD screen.
Okay. But you could see all the phases of the moon, even the image of the moon, and all the phases, and it's not reflecting anything. It's backlit.
Yeah, but
So reflection is not the only way it would work. So the moon definitely could give its own light in a phase, especially because here's the funny thing about the moon. It disappears for about 2.5 days and can't be detected by anyone in any way, shape, or form. So it does something that even physical objects don't do, which is completely disappear.
But it doesn't do that.
Oh, really? So when the new moon phase is going on, can you show me how we detect it?
Am I able to quickly interject here and help Burge out? Because I think I have an explanation.
Can you verify this explanation, or is this going to be a postulation?
Give me a minute to Google what the hell postulation means, and I can answer that question.
Oh.
So, all right, let's leave it for the jury to decide what it is.
But now we're going to go to the masses. So we're just going to go by.
No, that's just. I'm just saying that as a phrase. Like you guys can decide. I really don't. It don't bother me. The currently accepted explanation for that would be the fact that, and of course that this is the whole point of this, is that the Earth is a sphere, and as we pass in front of the sun, and as the moon passes behind us, we block the light from the sun that's reflecting off the moon, so we can no longer see the moon. Because
that's incorrect. That is an eclipse. That's an eclipse you're talking about. The moon phases have nothing to do with the position of the Earth in between the sun and the moon. You should probably look that up. Do you guys know how the moon phases work?
Yes.
Okay, well then why don't you look that up real quick?
Oh,
According to that model, it's an angular relationship. You guys have got to be crazy if you think you're coming in here talking to people that don't know about the heliocentric model. The problem is that we know it much better than you do. You have a tertiary, exposure to it. You believe what you were told in public school, like we all did. Now we went ahead and challenged all these claims, so we know the claims much better than you do. And so you better, bring all of your ammo, all of your data, all of your empirical evidence. Because we're going to scrutinize everything. Every claim, every inference, every implication, we're going to hammer you for.
The one thing that, or at least that I find, is you always ask, you've only asked us for empirical evidence, but you've shown nothing but your own words as well.
What claim have I made?
Well, you've claimed that how the moon, like the light on the moon.
No, I'm claiming the lore of it, right? I claim the phases, the story that you were supposed to know.
Yeah, but you're also claiming that you could make, with a flat plane, you could make a crescent moon. Which...
No, I didn't. You go ahead and go to the live stream on YouTube and have me show you where I said those exact words. I was showing you, or I was actually describing the GIF in the live, or actually the chat right here, where you can make a shadow using a flat object over like an orange, right? That's what I was saying. I'm not saying the moon's an orange. I'm not saying the Earth is an orange. I'm not saying the occultation is due to some kind of flat object. But there's a lot of ways to recreate effects that have nothing to do with the story that you're given.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be able to make a crescent shape with that. You could.
So you show me how the crescent shape shows up. Recreate it for me. I'd love to see it.
You mean just on the like?
Just do it small scale. I don't give a crap. You could show me one way it could happen. But if you're going to say you know how it happens on the moon, well, you're going to have to get a lot more information than just telling me about it. Just some weird explanation.
Well, one way you could get a crescent shape would be to get a ball and shine the light on it at a certain angle. which is
Go
how
for
I
it.
get.
Go for it.
I don't
That's
have
what
them all in my room.
the GIF posted in open chat in the chat when I posted that photo is an example of a shadow being cast on a sphere, causing a circular boundary.
No, you showed me a picture of the moon with a boundary. That's it.
Then after
You
that,
didn't-
posted
you
by
didn't
Steve
show me-
is a GIF.
Yeah.
Of it happening.
Right.
A sphere.
What?
I don't
That
think the
GIF
GIF went through.
Oh, did it not go through for you?
Or you mean,
I can see it.
Or you mean the orange?
Yeah, the orange, a sphere having a shadow cast on it, creating a rounded boundary. Can you not see it?
Right. No, I see it. Show me the crescent part. You know the really thin crescent? Show me that.
How? He doesn't move it that far over it, but I can show you the...
No, he doesn't, but you could probably recreate it, couldn't you? I mean, this is your claim. Please back it up with some sort of evidence.
If I'm giving you evidence, that is evidence.
No, you're giving me explanation based on an incomplete demonstration in a text chat. Show me what it is that you're talking about. The thin crescent? I'd love to see it. Recreate that thing.
I can recreate that at a later date. Right now, I just have a point I want to go back to from a little bit earlier ago.
Okay. Right.
You mentioned, this was before I started talking, I was unmuted. You mentioned you believe no one landed on the moon, correct? Is that correct?
I don't have any evidence that someone did. There's some stuff on TV, but if everything on TV is supposed to be true, we're in big trouble.
Oh, no. TV is by all means never true, pretty much. But
okay.
I believe this to be fairly concrete evidence, as is something that I personally could do myself to prove someone's been on the moon. When they went up, not sure which time it was. They've only gone up a few times, so it's going to be one of them. They put down basically a big mirror. And at certain times of the year, you can literally shine a fat-ass laser on it and have it bounce back when it hits the mirror and bounce back to us.
I think you should go ahead and do that, but you do realize that they've already been bouncing stuff off of the moon, whatever it is, way before they went to the moon. Back in the 50s, they were doing this.
Right, but different stuff, not optical lasers, I expect.
But just go ahead and recreate it for me. This is another claim. I want you to go ahead and prove it.
You see, that is an unreasonable expectation, because you can't expect me to do that when ultimately it's going to be a laser that A, is probably military grade laser, but people have done it. There are videos of people doing it in the same way.
What does that prove? If people have been doing this before anybody supposedly went to the moon, why would it be evidence that they went to the moon now?
Give me 2 seconds.
It's not
You're going to skip over that part? You're not going to see the hole in your logic? People have already been doing it before anybody went to the moon, supposedly. Now they're still doing it. Okay.
I'm just getting a little bit of research in real quick just to prove my point, or make my point.
You Google Earthers are incredibly frustrating because I'm trying to have a conversation with people who supposedly know what they're talking about, and now they have to Google on the fly what their religion states and how it's supposed to work. Really frustrating.
Right. But it's also frustrating when, again, like Burge said, you're asking us for empirical evidence when you're saying, but that's just not true. And then you won't.
I'm not handling dismissing anything. Now you're accusing me something of what I haven't done anything like that. I'm asking you for the evidence for the claims that you make. I don't think I'm asking for too much.
You realize what you just said to me was to get a laser strong enough as a civilian, some random aerospace student in the middle of nowhere, to shine a light off the moon and bounce it back to Earth. That is not a reasonable
claim. You said, I think this is something that I could do. You actually said, I believe this is something I could probably do. And I said, okay, go ahead and do it. And now you're like, that's unreasonable.
Right.
It's not that time of year to do that. And
well, then quit writing checks that your ass can't cash, brothers. Okay? If you're going to make a claim, don't say that you can do something and then not do it. This is 24/7. We're going to be here all the time. You can give yourself a week, 2 weeks, a month. Go get your laser, hang out with your homies, drink some beers, bounce some, light off the moon, and then come back.
I'm not saying
what he's saying is, first off, it's not that time of year. Second off, He doesn't have the money for that type of laser.
Students are
Right, so let's not make claims, right?
No.
Let's not make claims that we can't go ahead and actually validate.
It's
No,
a
but
hypothetical.
What
It's me
he's
saying.
saying is it
Now
is
we're back into
possible.
hypotheticals.
No. He's saying it's possible for him to do it had he had the money for the laser, and would it have
Mhm.
been the time of year to do that? He's not saying anything else. He's not stating that he can do it right now on the fly. That's just that's all he's stating.
Could you guys give us a claim that you actually can verify, or maybe that you don't have to Google?
All right, can we? I personally think at the moment it's a very one-sided conversation. So I want evidence from you as to why it's not a sphere.
Can I just do you know what Polaris is?
Boy, people they get triggered. They come in here and then they ask questions like, "Do you know what Polaris is?" Are you going to go somewhere with this?
Can you give me an
Hilarious
explanation why
question?
I can see
It's
it
it's
from
an
the northern
observable.
hemisphere?
Okay, it is an observable
One
phenomenon.
person at
Hello.
a time.
It is.
Yeah, come on, you
It
guys.
is,
You're tripping over each other.
Yeah, it is an observable phenomena. It's been labeled many names. You say Polaris. Some people call it celestial north. It's an orientation from on a position in the sky. So it's a center of rotation up in the sky that we can observe. A center point of rotation. So yeah.
Is that Watcher you're talking
So
to?
the two gentlemen I'm talking. No, Burge and who the guy who just asked the question about Polaris? Yeah, Watcher.
Okay, because I got
Burge.
Go ahead.
Who's the
I
other
haven't
guy?
posted any pictures, by the way. Could someone give me that?
Yeah, you could DM me and I'll post it. Crit right there, right above Danny, below Bingo.
Yeah, I know, but Danny got access, so I'm just requesting access as well.
Oh yeah, that's done through the server, not our channel specifically. So I think Benji might be able to do it for you. He's a
What
senior
am I
mod.
doing?
Bingo, or no, not Bingo.
Bingo.
Oh, Burge. There we go, Burge. Burge wants to get ranked up to 3 so they can post images.
There you guys done.
Thanks.
So Burge and Danny claims to make. You want me to make claims?
Don't disappoint me. I'll remove your image frames.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today, I experienced the Earth as stationary, like I didn't feel it moving, and I built some stuff. I got out a level. Actually, that was yesterday. I got a level out yesterday. Hopefully, it doesn't change today. But I got out a level, and I used it to build stuff. And it turns out that wherever I go, level is always the same. Water always finds its level wherever I go in any basin. And it turns out I used to live on the plains, and I could see for hundreds of miles without any obstruction. I have an observation of 112 miles to a mountain that I can see from base to top. So I don't have any evidence in my life that shows me that I live on a ball that has a radius of 3,959 miles. I've looked for it, and it's not there. So my experience is that I experience a flat Earth, but everybody tells me it's a ball, but I don't find the ball part. So if you guys have anything with this ball that they're talking about, please tell me where it's.
I just have a question about. Sorry, yeah, Flash, go on.
Could I go in on the I feel stationary part?
That's what I was gonna.
Or do you not feel stationary?
Oh, I do feel stationary, but
Feel being the key word there. Feel.
Yeah, feel. That's
okay.
the thing. Because if you're in a plane, do you feel stationary? Or
No.
like a car? No. You could stand in the car.
Depends, really, doesn't it?
If there's no like wobble in the road, you'd feel stationary. You'd feel just as stationary in your seat in a car as on the couch in your living room.
Burge, we want to make sure that we're doing apples to apples comparisons here, right? So in a plane or in a car or in a train, any of these things, we would have to be having some sort of angular velocity, angular acceleration like the Earth is supposed to have. It's a spin. It's not a linear straight line traveling. Also, you'd have to take the roof off, right? Because Earth is supposed to be convertible. Are you guys aware of that? no roof on this son of a bitch, right?
Yeah, but
So
the
let's make
difference
the
is
apples to apples comparison, and then let's go around a really big curve with the top off, and we might be getting close.
no, because that would mean that the air particles are flying at a different speed than you yourself. That would mean
Well,
that's a
this is the
different.
closest example. In all reality, we'd have to have a convertible exposed to a vacuum. Can you recreate that for me so we can have some sort of analogy here?
Well, I mean, the best comparison you could do, I guess, would be to get, I don't know, like a very big box, drive that at a high speed, and see whilst you're in it, and see if you could feel anything. Because
What?
like, well, that's the same as the
big box
spin it. It's
big box.
Just it's. I don't care if it's a box.
What is the orientation of this box?
The box doesn't have I don't know. There's a top, a bottom, and the top of the box, the bottom of the box, the sides.
So I need you to help me with your analogy here. You're having a hard time describing to me the scenario. So what is the box doing? Where am I in relation to the box? Is the box traveling in a curve? Is it a right side up? What's the deal here?
The box is, say, I don't know, traveling at 100 miles an hour. You're
in what direction? Is it an angular velocity?
Sure.
Okay, so it's going in a large circle. Am I right side up, sideways? What's the deal?
You're just standing in the box.
You're standing in the box, and it's vertically oriented.
I'd rather just use an airplane, because if you're walking in an airplane, you wouldn't feel.
Yeah, maybe the box wasn't a great analogy. So we're back to the airplane, which is an enclosed space in a pressurized system, which is not analogous to the Earth. This is not very good.
Yeah, but you couldn't get an analogy. Like, you couldn't do that kind of an experiment.
So why'd you bring it up?
Planet? Because your way of thinking about feeling stationary is flawed.
So you're saying the fact that I feel stationary is because I'm spinning?
No,
That's the stupidest crap I've ever heard.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that just because you feel stationary doesn't mean you are stationary. Look, just let me talk for a second.
If it's going to be a bunch of nonsense, I'm going to stop it, but you go ahead.
If you're in an airplane, you can just walk. You wouldn't. No.
Back to the airplane.
Yeah, because you don't feel like you're going 500 miles an hour or however fast your airplane is going.
When the airplane banks, do you feel it?
You do, but...
Okay, thank you. So that's when you feel the angular velocity, just like you're supposed to have on the Earth. But it's way worse than that, because you're supposed to be on the outside of the ball.
Because the Earth doesn't bank.
Am I able to interject here quickly?
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to have to shut Burge down because he's not going to go ahead and create a good analogy for us. Why don't you give it a shot, Danny?
I just want to say, so with banking in an airplane, let's say you bank to 5 degrees, for example. You're going from 0 degrees to 5 degrees in about, let's say 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to know the angular velocity of the Earth? It's 0.0083
velocity of the Earth.
It's 0.0083 degrees per minute.
Okay. Great. So we have an angular velocity. So show me where we can detect this.
Okay, but you...
No, Danny. No explanations, Danny. You just made a claim. Now I want you to show me how we measure this.
I'm taking a minute so that I can think through my thoughts, word it correctly. I just want...
No, I don't want to hear your thoughts. Okay, no. I just want the evidence where this is detected, some sort of accelerometer or some sort of device that can verify this acceleration. Back to you, Burge. Is your airplane banking at that particular rate in this scenario? If so, can you show me on Earth where we verified this with some sort of instrument?
Could I say one thing? You're asking us for
If it's going to be bullshit, you made a claim. We're going to go back to this, Burge. You made a claim, and now you're not going to back it up?
No. I'll back it up, but I don't have this evidence. 1, 2, 3 at
Why did you bring it up then?
because you brought it up, and we can talk about our evidence, but we don't have.
Yeah, I'm talking about my evidence. I don't feel myself moving. I can't actually perform any experiment to verify that I am moving. You guys say that you do and can, and yet you just want to kind of avoid the point where you give us the evidence of the claim. Why?
Because your evidence is easier to give than our evidence. Your evidence.
Isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome how I can say I feel still, and then I can get out an instrument and put it on the Earth and go, I'll be darned, the sucker's not moving after all.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's nice that it's easy, but for the
And you're going to tell me that we are spinning, but we don't feel it, nor can we measure it. That's an asinine thing to say.
Yes, because
yes,
as I was trying to explain with the airplane, if it's flying, you can walk around in it, right?
Well, it's banking. How does it feel?
No. That's not the scenario I'm describing. That's not the scenario.
So going straight. So this is not analogous to the Earth. If you want to talk about airplanes, there are forums for that. I'm sure on Discord there's probably some pilot forums, airplane forums. You know. Do you want to talk about the Earth or airplanes?
No, but
because so far you haven't made any good analogies with the airplane with the Earth, and I really don't want to waste my time with you talking about something that has nothing to do with the claim. No, how would I need you to finish if your claim or your analogy are not compatible?
Because I'm trying to get there, but you're not letting me.
It sounds like you're wasting my time.
If you feel.
Do you have another scenario where we could use something that's analogous to the Earth? Could you say, imagine you're on a ball and it's spinning. Do you have anything like that?
Well, yeah, the Earth, but that's not.
Okay, but that's begging the question because it turns out that the Earth doesn't show any spin or there's no detectable spin, so that's no good.
I mean, there's multiple experiments we can do ourselves.
Wonderful. Tell me about it.
I really just want to finish my first thought, but
no, I'm not going to let you. I'm not going to let you do that. I want you to go ahead and tell me about the experiments that we can do to know that the Earth is spinning. And you know, that's just one vector because that's the axial rotation. Then we have the orbital rotation around the sun. Then we have the sun hurling through the Milky Way. And then we have the Milky Way hurling through the vacuous space. Do you think you could show me all four vectors?
Not right now, but I can.
No, I don't think so. So I think the plane analogy is no good. What do you think?
Appeal to the future fallacy, not right now.
Yeah, not right now. I need to actually search for that because that
you might want to do that.
Again, not something I have ready at the get-go. But
did you guys think it was just going to be easy to come in here and just like make claims and then not support them? What were you thinking you were going to do?
No, but the thing is, even if we want to actually get a good like set of data and empirical evidence for you, you're not letting us finish our thoughts.
No, I would be happy to let you go if you had something that was analogous or even some data or anything to back up your claim, but you won't do that. Why aren't you doing that?
Because I was getting there the whole time, and you're just going through me and not letting me actually debate.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you 60 seconds. If I don't hear something coherent and analogous to our scenario or the supposed lore of the globe and the spinning, I'm going to cut you off. You may begin.
Okay. Well, first off, the amount of spin we feel is like, if you're in a car, if you want to do a full like 360-degree turn, do that over 1 hour. That's the amount of spin we feel. If you not 1 hour, 24 hours. My bad. If you did 24 hours over one 360-degree turn, you'd be like, damn, that's really slow, right? That's at least the spin. So now, just think about that in a bigger scale. It doesn't matter because you don't feel the acceleration from it anymore. There's no acceleration, so there's no feel to it. When there's
So
no
you can
feel to
tell it's
But-
spinning because it's not.
it, can I finish without someone interjecting? Or it's like the
Please keep going. Your time is not up yet. Go ahead.
So where was I on the thing?
You're telling us how you don't feel any spin.
Yeah. Just because you don't feel it doesn't mean it's not there. I can prove to you with different experiments and data that there is spin.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. So that's the thing that I want. If you don't have that, I don't want to hear another word out of you. I don't want you to tell me how you don't feel it spin. I want you to show me how you know that it is.
Yeah, but
okay,
I'm first
off you go.
I'm first trying to explain to you
No.
that
Nope. Off you go.
yeah, I'm explaining.
Go ahead. Off you go to get the evidence, the experiments. I want to see those and post them in chat. You're going to post them in chat for me.
Right now?
Yep. What else you got going on?
I'm first trying to explain.
You were going to explain to me without evidence, but it would be great if you would just go ahead and give me the evidence. That way, I don't have to keep doing this with you. So go ahead and post it in chat. Go find it, and we'll talk about it.
Okay. Well, could I just say one more thing? Because I'm trying to.
Is it going to be BS? Go ahead and with the BS. Go ahead, BS everybody in the room, and tell us how you don't feel it.
Yeah, you don't feel it. First off, I'm trying to explain to you that we don't feel it. That doesn't mean it's not there.
I knew that part.
Yeah.
Now I need to detect it. So where's the detection of it?
The second part.
All right. I'm going to mute you, okay? Because you're not getting me the thing that we already talked about you were going to get me. I don't want you to tell me any more about how you don't feel it. I want you to show me how you can detect it. Danny, what do you got for us?
Oh my god, right, just I know I'm jumping back again, but I just want to explain that I wasn't trying to prove the Earth is moving. I was just trying to prove it's not as easy as just saying I don't feel it, so it can't be true. That's all I was trying to explain. Not that it is. I myself cannot give evidence that it is, but I was just trying to ask for a bit more evidence onto how it's not.
Well, I can't feel fairy godmothers tickling my toes all day when I'm at work, right? But you can't just say that they're not.
Right.
That's
But
what you're doing, bro.
Perfect.
That's weird.
If you were in a plane that was banking at 0.0083 degrees a minute, you wouldn't feel it banking. Eventually, it would get to the point, I admit, where it feels like you're not, but that's because gravity will be pulling you sideways, basically.
Well, you can't feel the fairy godmothers tickling your toes because, see, they really don't have feathers because of gravity.
At this point, you're just trying to disprove something. I'm trying to give a good explanation. And you're bringing up.
Well, you're making like an explanation, right? That's what you call it. But to me, it sounds like an excuse, right? Like, oh, my dog ate my homework. The reason I don't have my homework or any evidence that I did my homework is because my dog ate it. It's like, but you don't have a dog. Well, never you mind that. I'm explaining to you why.
Okay, you're in a car then, like Bo's saying. You're turning as fast as I said, 0.0083 degrees. It takes you 24 hours to turn 360 degrees. Are you trying to tell me you'll feel that more than you'll feel a fairy grandmother tickling your feet?
It's
whatever the hell it was you're saying,
right? Because doing a 360 once over. See, what you're doing is you're comparing a car doing a 360 to the Earth doing a 360. It's not the same thing. Hold on. It's not the same thing, right? Yeah, I'll be quick, and then I'll let the other guy continue because he was doing fantastic. It's not the same thing. It's a false equivalency from the beginning, right? And you're doing this thing where you keep converting these mathematical numbers into smaller and smaller numbers in appearance only, right? 1,038 miles per hour at the equator is only one rotation per day. That's literally what doublespeaking is. Have you read 1984? Did you know that's what you were doing? And now that you know that's what you're doing, will you please stop?
Can I explain why they are in fact it's that's not what you're saying? Am I right to attempt that?
I'm not going to stop you, and I'm not going to interrupt the other gentleman anymore because he was doing fantastic.
So my reasoning for saying that it is an equivalent explanation is that if you research the equations used to actually figure out angular velocity, which has been used on angular velocity on Earth and off Earth, well, maybe not off Earth, believing what we all believe, mass size doesn't have anything to do with it. It doesn't have anything to do with angular momentum, angular acceleration, which was a key point you were bringing up, is that it's acceleration, so you should feel it. That has nothing to do with it. It is the amount of degrees you're turning per amount of time gives you angular momentum, and that divided by the amount of time you're traveling gives you angular velocity. 0.0083, whatever it was, per minute, divide that by time again, because that's your angular velocity, is even smaller. You will not feel that. That is a force equivalent of, like, I don't even know, something that low. You will not feel it.
So, yeah, we know that, right? That's exactly the same evidence that you would have if the Earth was stationary and planar.
It's not.
You wouldn't feel that moving either. So your evidence is not exclusive to the Earth.
Okay. I just want to say again, I'm not trying to prove it's moving. I'm just trying to say it's not as simple as just saying it doesn't feel like it's moving. That's all I'm trying to say. It's not as simple as just saying it doesn't
feel like. The burden of proof is on you, bro. Like, it's not just good enough for you to say it is moving, but we just can't feel it. That's not good either, right?
No. I'm not trying to say that. I just want to understand why the proof,
I know, that's why it came out of my mouth. That's why it came out of my mouth and not yours. I know that you're not trying to say that, which I just said.
I just want to understand why the burden of proof isn't on us both. We both need to prove our points. It's very easy to say, I believe this because I believe it. It's less easy to say, I believe it because of this. We are trying to give reasons as to why I believe it because of this. You're saying, I feel like it's stationary, so I believe it. I just want a bit more proof from you guys. That's all I'm asking for.
Well, I'm just following the so-called observational science. Isn't that what you guys call it?
No, because I don't believe in observational sciences. I believe in fact, which is what I believe in testing for science.
Okay, so when we test for a rotation of the Earth, like the Michelson-Morley experiment or the ring laser gyroscope,
you're saying this like I'm. Sorry, go on. No, I'm interrupting. Sorry.
We don't find any evidence of the Earth moving.
I just want to say again, I'm not trying to prove it's moving. I'm just trying to prove it's not as easy as saying I feel like it's stationary. I just want to make that point abundantly clear.
Well, it's not as easy as saying it is moving. You just can't feel it.
Yeah, I know it's not. That's why I'm not. That's what, like I said, I'm not trying to prove it's moving. I just want to understand why you think it's easy. No, yeah, you're right. I, as a 19-year-old, cannot. I don't have enough life experience for that. But I do want to understand why you can just say I feel like it's not moving without any actual evidence. Because, like I said, even if it was moving, you wouldn't feel it.
Because the way that it actually works in reality is when you make an extraordinary claim, it requires extraordinary evidence. Without that extraordinary evidence, you could just dismiss it, right? Like if I were to say something ridiculous like President Biden's a reptilian from the constellation of Orion, right? You would just dismiss that outright because I have no evidence. You wouldn't have to say, well, you can't just say the president's not a reptilian because there's no evidence. You would just outright dismiss it.
So I have a question for you then. If right, sorry, let me just gather my thoughts from that. If I can't say that I believe it because of these points that have been proven, or not necessarily proven, sorry, have been provided, and it may be an extraordinary assumption or whatever it is you refer to it as, there have been millennia, thousands and thousands and thousands of years of people proving this, or sorry, again, not proving it,
like what?
Suggesting it.
Like what?
I don't bloody know. Go through Pythagorean theorems or whatever the hell it is. I don't know the exact things. I can't quote them like I'm some sort of philosopher. I'm just saying that there are. Why are you gonna believe something such as it being stationary with less evidence than something.
It's not a belief.
Right. I
We
just
experience it not moving.
I just want to explain what I mean by belief. A belief is what you perceive to be true. I personally believe in science. You personally believe, or you may believe in science, but you may believe the Earth is flat. I believe it's round. I don't mean it in a hypothetical
Well,
way.
you're making a few assumptions there. First of all, it's not mutually exclusive to believe in science and to believe the Earth is flat.
Yeah, I know. That's
also
why I said you may
science-
believe in science.
It's also the fact that natural science is the scientific method, right? The experiment of testing the hypothesis, and it doesn't require belief, right? Nobody believes that heat causes water to boil. They know it for a fact that heat causes water to boil.
They know it for a fact after believing it for however many years until they can finally prove the energy relation between this and this. Prove to me that the Earth is flat, and I will stop believing that the Earth is round, and I will know the Earth is flat. That's all I'm asking.
Okay, I can't prove anything to you, right? You have to go outside and test it for yourself. You live near a body of water, right? You sound like you've been to the UK a time or two, right?
I mean, I live there, so yeah.
Okay, so you're surrounded by water, so you need to go make some observations. I hear that you can see France from the UK. Now, that would be a pretty impossible shot if the Earth is curving at 8 inches per mile squared, roughly.
I'm going to quickly search up the distance from France to the UK.
Right.
Distance of
I believe it's the Pas de Calais.
I'm just going to type distance of war between France and England. Right. You see that right there. Hang on. So the English Channel is body of water separating France and England, 33 kilometers. Right. Okay. So now if we Google, again, I know you're just going to call me a Google Earth believer or whatever. How fast does the Earth drop off?
I'm not going to call you anything, man. I'm just going to tell you to get in touch with Jedi, and he'll tell you where to go.
Okay, that's 8 inches per square mile, like you said. So if each mile it drops off 8 inches, that's only 20.5 miles. That's 860 inches. Me being
860 inches? No, bro.
That's not what I meant. That 160 is what I meant to say. 160. 164 to be precise. That would be.
That doesn't sound right.
8 inches per square mile. A mile by a mile is a square mile. So 1 mile long is 8 inches. Do that 20.5 times. 8 times 10 is 80. 8 times 20 is 160. 0.5 times 8 is 464 inches. That's 164 inches of drop off. Me, as a 6 foot man, it's not that much. But again, because of perspective, you will be able to see France. You will. You can do the math equation. I'm not going to because I'm too tired for that. But you can do it. So it's not impossible.
Because the water is flat, mate.
Not quite, but okay. I don't understand how you can go from me giving numbers and values to because the Earth is flat, mate, and believe that you're giving.
You said that you can see it, right? The thing is, I've been to the ocean. I've been to Corpus Christi. I've seen it myself with my own eyes.
Okay.
And seeing is believing.
Run those numbers again. Yeah, run those numbers by me again, please. Let's go.
Okay.
Well, how'd you measure your curvature? What's the curvature rate of your fucking ball there?
This is what's his name? This is Larry's numbers that he's given me, and I have searched it up to be fair. And yes, again, Google,
so 8 inches per mile squared, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so do the math. How many miles across from England to France?
20.5
miles or kilometers?
Miles. 33 kilometers. 20.5 miles.
So 20.5 squared.
Not squared.
Times 8, right? Squared.
Not squared.
The miles are squared. The miles are squared.
Mate, it's
the miles are squared.
We're talking distance, a single line.
Yeah. The miles are squared. This is a curve. It's not a line. It's not a straight line. The miles are squared. What? You got to understand this formula, my guy, before you start spitting, because your math was fucking way off, and this is the point I'm fucking trying to fucking point out.
Hey Vlad,
how
you're
many
coming
miles?
in. Vlad, hey Vlad, listen, please. You're coming in
What?
like at a 10, and we kind of need you at like a 2.
Yeah, whatever, bro. I'm asking him 8 inches per mile squared. That's it.
Let me get paint up. I'm gonna draw it out.
This is Vlad at a 3.
I'm gonna stream.
Said like a 2.
Yeah, dude, you gotta be mellow like the flat Earth, bro. Chill.
Right.
But this guy doesn't understand the math, and nobody wants to fucking correct him. So I had to step in. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyways, you guys can take over again. So fucking explain the equation to this guy, because this poor fellow does not fucking understand me.
This is a mile. This is a mile squared. I can't write. There you go. Let's say this is England. I don't know what they look like. That's France. We're talking about that distance. We're not talking about that. That is a single dimension. That is why you have to convert from area, which is miles squared, into miles. And because it's 8 miles squared, it's 8 inches per mile squared, sorry.
Buddy, what is this and that? I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
This is a mile. This length here, imagine it's a mile. Obviously, it's not a mile. It's on my screen.
Hey, you might want to tell people you're fucking showing this shit on a stream, because I'm not watching what you're saying, okay?
I did say I was showing on a stream. I said I was going to stream.
I didn't hear you. I'm walking. I'm on my phone, buddy.
So this is a mile here, yeah? We're going to imagine this is a mile. This is a mile squared. This is a mile times a mile, which is a mile squared.
Again, I'm not seeing this.
Okay.
Yo, it's in chat. For the guys who can't see it, I'll put it in chat for you. What he's showing.
Thank you. So there's top left, 1 mile, straight line, single line. Mile squared is a square because it's mile squared, which is area. It is an area. It is 2 dimensions. But we're talking about single dimension.
Yeah, okay, buddy. See, this is where you're having a problem with why the square is there. See, now you have to go back. And how did they derive? No, you listen, this is where you're having the fucking issue, and I'm trying to save you, because you clearly do not understand fucking math completely. Okay? So go back, understand how they derived it with the right angle triangle, right? How they put it on, how they put the radius where the radius is, how you get the r+1 in the Pythagorean formula. Okay, now you go do that derivation yourself, and then understand why the fucking square is there, okay?
The r+1 in the Pythagorean formula. What? X?
Right. What is the r? What's the r? You gotta really understand the whole formula, right?
The Pythagorean formula meaning the square root of x squared. No, wait. That's it. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. That's right. That's Pythagorean. There is
the square root of a squared plus b squared.
That's the one. Where's the r?
Don't forget the fucking. Well, that's what I'm saying. You got to understand where to put the r in that fucking formula, guys. So where's your a? Where's your b? Where's your c? Draw that shit on the circle. How'd you get the r+1? You got to understand all that before you even fucking try to argue this fucking point.
What they mean, bro. That's not what
they mean. Because you're fucking drawing squares and shit, thinking that actually literally being a fucking square. That's the problem here, buddy.
It means
everything is just fucking wrong.
It means every mile you go along.
You got to understand. You got to understand the formula, buddy. It's an exponential curve. It's not a fucking straight line, right? The circle, right? It's a fucking exponential curve. It's not a fucking straight line, buddy.
I'm aware of this. Because it's based on travel.
So the square has to be there. That's where your exponential curves come from these exponents, right?
Yeah.
That's why the miles are squared. Now go back and do it yourself if you really want to know why they put the triangle on the circle, why the r is there, why the r+1 is there in brackets, right? You got to understand the whole formula before you can actually start talking about this, buddy, okay?
Okay, I want to understand them.
All right.
In fact, I don't want to understand. The way it works is because they'll do
the miles are squared. Just understand. Okay, for now, just for the sake of arguments, the miles are squared. Now you get the number, right? So 8 inches times miles squared, right? Now do that formula. There's 20.5 miles across from fucking England to France, right? Now square those miles 20 times 20.5 times 20.5 times 8. That's how much you have drop in distance in inches. If you want the feet, you divide it by 12. That's simple.
Okay. I put it into, where is it? I've done what Bingo suggested. My numbers are off, funnily enough, doing it in my head. It's actually 240, which again is a reasonable, with perspective, is a reasonable.
240 what? 240 what?
Feet. Oh yeah, feet. Yeah.
Oh, 240 feet, right?
Hang on. Have I been lied to?
Oh my God, 240 feet. How high is 240 feet, my guy?
Is that flat? Yeah, flat. Oh my God.
100%, my God. That's why this fucking channel never been shut down, buddy. We've been doing this forever, buddy. Welcome to Flat Earth. You're welcome. There you go. See, now we got the spiraling going, baby. Yeah.
No, the other's not.
All right, you're welcome, boys.
Yeah, didn't mean to disconnect then, tried to stop streaming. You know what? I actually rate that. Funny enough, I don't have enough brain power to respond to that. I don't have enough brain power in my brain. So I'm going to mute myself and let someone else take over because I'm too tired for this shit.
Yeah, the point is that you can't be proven something over the internet, right? Because the thing in question is not on the internet; it's outside. You know, a lot of people here. Hold on, I'm talking.
Yeah. Sorry.
A lot of people hear the word Earth, and in their mind's eye, they picture a blue marble floating in space because that's what they saw on TV. But if you go outside, that dirt that gets in between your toes, you know, like the beach in between, you know, the sand, right? Between your toes, between the sea and the land. That's what the Earth actually is, right? What the earthworms live in outside. That's what the Earth is. So you can go check it for yourself, and that's why so many people are flat earthers. And I think I've seen it's an older number, but they say that 1 in 3 people think the Earth is geocentric, and that was a few years back. So if 1 in 3 people think that, you know,
Burge wants to add something on. Can you be unmuted?
You're interrupting me to tell me that somebody needs to be unmuted.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
I just quickly want to add something on as well.
Finished.
Is that if the drop-off is 240 feet, I admit my maths was wrong. I'll put that out there. Do you want to know the tallest point in France is? Do you want to know how many feet that is?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
15,766.
What object is 15,000 feet up?
Many, many mountains. The Pyrenees Mountains, for example, in France, most likely.
Okay.
That's the highest point in France.
You got a mountain over there that's 3 miles up?
Yeah. And
damn.
I don't think that's... Is that 3 miles? I don't know my feet to miles conversion. I'm English, I use meters.
Well, it's almost 3 miles.
Right, okay. Then yeah, we do. It's 15,766 feet. It's the highest point in France. Which I personally...
Hold on, buddy. I think you're seeing just more than just fucking mountains. That's number one. Okay. Number two, I live next to a lake. My lake is 30 miles across. Right? I can see across this lake. Right? That's more than I could. It's a lake. It's called the Great Lakes of Canada. They're massive, and we can see across them. Okay? Now listen to this very carefully. None of the little buildings that are in St. Catharines, right? I live in Toronto. That city that I'm looking at is called St. Catharines, and their village is pretty much a village. Maximum are like 3-story buildings. There should be 600 feet of drop. But I see across this fucking lake all the goddamn time.
Okay, can I...
Where's the curve?
Can I ask
I'll give you photos. I got photos. You want photos? I got photos.
Go on then.
Okay. Look in the chat. Side chat. I got a thing called an S22 Ultra. Hold on. I got an S22 Ultra. This thing takes night photos, right? And what I'm about to post you guys is... Where's my photos? I gotta find it in this pile. I got a bunch of these crazy awesome pictures, but and different conditions too. They got fucking like the miraging, like crazy miraging, like you see mountains floating and shit, or like hills and valleys floating. I think this one's it. Yeah, there you go. So in the side chat, that shadow is me. If you look at the ground, so I'm pretty much right at the base of the fucking water. You know, the water could practically touch my thing. I just do the field of view is really extended on this shot. I try to do as as much of a big field of view as I could, trying to emphasize how flat the goddamn horizon is. Because if you were living on a ball for real, right, and you're telling me that drastic curve was there, right, that curve would be curving all around you, not just the front of you, right? Your peripherals would be curving too. You know, that's what they fail to mention when they tell you about the boat going over the horizon. Hey, look, that boat's going over the goddamn horizon, right? But then if that's going over the horizon there, how come my peripherals are flat? The fuck? You know? So you got problems all over the place, Mr. Globe friend. But now gander at that picture. Those lights would not be able to go across.
So just to be clear, are you which side of this are you on? Toronto or the?
I'm on the Toronto side. I'm on the Toronto side, friend. I don't see. I have the skyscrapers. That city I'm pointing at is just a small town. It doesn't have skyscrapers, and there should be 600 feet of drop. Just to tell you guys, there should be 600 feet of drop from my point to that point, but there ain't none.
Is that taken from Center Island?
Nope. It's Lakeshore. I literally I'm right on it right now as we speak. I'm walking home.
I want to be clear. It's not 600. It's 293 because that point
wait. 8 inches. Hold on. Let's do the math. 8 inches times 30 miles squared,
it's
my
not
friend.
30 miles.
It's 30 miles across. Yes, it is.
It's not.
Lake Ontario is, buddy. It's 30 miles. More than 30 miles. First of all, and it's wide like 100. Buddy, yeah. No, at its greatest, 175. If you're going to go east to west on this goddamn lake, it's 175 miles. If you're going north to south, it's 35 miles. The fuck are you on? Buddy, I live next to it. You're going to tell me, no, it's not because you fucking looked at Google and made another mistake. Buddy, you have problems with numbers, man. You already had the first time you fucking made errors on your calculations saying you were right. And now you have to apologize. Oh, I was wrong. I'm sorry. Now you're going to fucking argue with me about the place I fucking live next to. Amazing. Go ahead. Tell me how it's not fucking 30 miles across.
Thank you, Benji. 48 kilometers is 20. Oh, wait.
I'm trying to figure out where he's from, because if he's from Center Island, it's less.
I said I'm from Toronto.
Yeah, I know, but I was trying to figure out where the picture's taken exactly so I could get the exact measurement.
Lakeshore.
Right,
1,000 Lakeshore. If you want the address, just so 1,000 Lakeshore. That's the point. It's good enough. Fuck me. It doesn't even matter if you take at any point. That picture is going to be over 30 miles. I actually have the shortest point that I'm looking from. From north to south, it's 30 miles. If you go from if you're even going on any diagonal, you're increasing the distance. Plus, you're seeing the whole span of that fucking little village. Welcome to Flat Earth, boys. It's more than 30 miles. Jesus Christ. I understand. You guys have problems with math. That's why you guys are Globers, I think, man.
It's too big to see.
Well, I see. I don't know, man.
Sounds like an excuse to me.
Right?
Sounds like an excuse. What excuse are they going to come up with next? Refraction?
Refraction. It's looming. It's being
I'd say that's a pretty fair measurement.
You guys are funny. Anyways, I'm going back on mute. This is fucked up.
See, the reason why this Canadian, he's speaking with such conviction because this is his experience. Walking home from work down Lakeshore, he sees it with his own eyes. Not every night, but from time to time, probably most nights, he sees it. And I've experienced it at Corpus Christi, right? Just in the ocean, going, what the fuck is that over there? I'm not from that area. So I go look it up on my phone. It's like, oh, that's 10 miles away. Oh, that's beach houses. When you get to the street view, beach houses, there should be 66.6 feet of curvature because the water was up to my armpits. Assuming 1 foot waves, there should have been 66 feet of hidden objects. So when you go look at Ingleside on the Bay, you can type that in right now, and you do a little street view, there's nothing but beach houses over there. So how the fuck do you see...
quickly...
Bro,
Sorry.
You're interrupting the fuck out of me right now. So rude.
No.
So if you could just, go to Corpus Christi North Beach yourself, right next to the USS Lexington, then you would have the same kind of conviction I had, because I was there on July the 4th for 3 days and 3 nights on vacation. And the whole fucking time, I could see those beach houses. It was street lamps during the night which street lamps are pretty close to the damn water because there's no cliff. This is like boat ramps, beach houses, like right there. And you could see the beach houses during the day, the light reflecting off of the beach house. So when you see that, it's like, yeah, it doesn't matter what you saw on TV, right? It doesn't matter what they say about what they saw on TV because you have experience that you have firsthand primary knowledge, and nobody can convince you that 2 + 2 = 5 anymore.
Can I just ask that Buzz can be unmuted because he wants to give a response, and I'll mute myself.
Unmute him, thanks.
Well, the Corpus Christi one is a lot shorter.
Unmute him.
Yeah, I want to hear what Buzz has to say.
Is there any mods here that have muted Bursch for a reason?
No, I got muted because I didn't give him a point in time, so I just got muted for that.
I muted him not for any other reason than I wanted to move to somebody else that may have had some sort of validation for their claim, but he can be unmuted, obviously.
Okay, well let's not talk about being muted. You got the floor.
Well, this is a while back now, but on the France to England thing, you can see France because on the coast of Calais and on the England side of that, there's a lot of not mountains, like sorry, I'm not English. What's a ridge at the sea, like a big rocky
The Cliffs of
hill?
Dover.
Yeah, the Cliffs of Dover. They're there, and they are pretty high up. I can't tell exactly. I could look it up if you want. But if
350.
I am actually looking it up for
Yeah.
you. I'm pretty sure you can't see it from ground level. You have to be at very specific locations.
Yeah.
Yeah, so from 6 foot, which is how tall I am, you can see them from that height because it's 350 feet and it will cover up 240, which
should cover our bases. No, it's not. It shouldn't cover up 240 feet because you're 6 feet tall, so the eye height should be. So yeah, I could just look that up real quick. It should cover up 192.73 feet. So you could see the Cliffs of Dover, which again would be France to England. So that's not an actual point. Now onto the Canadian thing, the Toronto one. It's really hard to tell from the picture where exactly that is.
Oh, you told us.
Yeah, no, but like I don't know. There's there's 3 different pictures of the mileage, and I don't know exactly which one it is, so I'm not gonna exactly argue about that. But even then, you can only see some lights, like that you can. If you zoomed in, you mostly would probably see what would be like wibbly wobbly buildings, because if you zoom in far enough, you just see buildings that aren't actually clear. You know the buildings aren't wibbly wobbly left to the right. Everyone knows that if they look at a building.
But how come you can see anything though if should be behind the hump of the water?
It is behind the hump, but it's being refracted through.
Oh, refraction.
How do you prove that? How do
you prove refraction?
Yeah, because you're claiming that there's this refraction happening.
Well, you could even look. I don't know, get a glass of water, and
where's the glass in the sky that is refracting the light?
It's not an exact analogy because
so
glass.
It's a false.
No. It's about the water.
What you don't understand about Larry is that he is incapable of extrapolating concepts and applying them into broader concepts.
Wait, before you continue, it's 450 feet of curve, by the way, you're talking about here. Just to be clear, the Toronto Lake thing.
If it's the 30-mile, then
yeah, 450, yeah.
What curve calculator did you use?
No, it's 486. So just correcting you here.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
From a
In
6
between-
feet. From a 6 feet eye height, it's.
I mean, there was 2 different pictures posted, but yeah, somewhere around 450 to 500.
Yeah. So yeah, let's just say like high 400s.
How can a math equation have multiple answers?
It doesn't, but we're using different
very easily.
eye heights.
There's 2 different.
It's pretty cool because I never mentioned nothing
In
about
fact-
no fucking eye height.
In fact, I could show you a mathematical equation. that has
Hold on.
oscillations.
Hold on. I'm the one from Toronto. I told you about the shit. How the fuck are you guys including eye height when I never said anything about no fucking eye height?
Because it's not taken from the.
Buddy, do the formula as how you should see the curve where there's no fucking eye height. There's
What is your
600
eye
feet missing.
There is a high height.
There's zero. Doesn't fuck. Listen, it's irrelevant. You gotta understand that how the fucking curve's supposed to be there physically before you start implementing some fucking eye height equation that you have no fucking idea how that was even fucking extrapolated.
You're talking about
Sir?
stop screaming at us.
No, you guys are stupid. You guys don't understand what the fuck you're talking about. Do the formula without the eye height. How much fucking feet was there? How much drop is there? When it's 8 inches times 30 squared. How much is that?
Could I just
Vlad, please, brother.
We are respectfully talking.
I'm like, you guys are telling me I fucking made a mistake where you guys are fucking actually the ones making the mistake. And I'm talking all fucking posh about it. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm not being posh about it. I'm just respectfully talking to you.
Zero. Fuck. I told you. No eye height.
So you were laying down on your stomach?
I fucking put my leg down right into the fucking water. I've done it so many fucking times.
But
If
that
you're
picture
standing up,
isn't
if you're
taken.
6 feet
That's
tall
just
on
a
the water.
photo. That's just a photo, bro. I wasn't gonna put my fucking phone in the water.
We're going off of the
Fuck
front.
out of here.
Vlad, for a moment, please. You're screaming so loud your mic's cutting out, bro. So just calm down and talk to us normal, please.
We need the eye height so we can get the proper number.
Yeah, from that picture, what we could see, there is some amount of eye height. Are we
Well,
wrong
if
to get
he's
that?
telling that he laid down on his stomach, then you're going to have to do it at 1 foot.
It's
Yeah,
not.
no,
You can
I-
see his shadow. You can see his shadow in it. He stood up.
Yeah.
There's no way that's a shadow. Can be
Guys, do you think it's complicated? Do you think it's complicated to grab the device, the phone, put it at the water level, and take the picture? That's what he's saying he did. He grabbed the phone, put it at the water level, took the pictures.
Yeah, but could you please look at the chat?
When the
You-
picture
you-
didn't
wait,
look like
everyone
it.
can
Let me
tell
cut
this
the
picture
highway,
is
please.
not like
Hold
that.
on.
Okay?
So my phone's cutting out. I'll tell you what's happening. Hold on. I'll correct everybody.
Yeah. No,
Again.
that's fine.
No. Because I never mentioned there's support. I'm talking about strictly physical curvature. How much there should be mathematically. I'm not talking about no eye height. I admit there's eye height there. Well, I took the photo. I even told you about the shadow. That's fantastic. But I'm talking about just from 0 point, right? From the fucking X and Y where it's 0. From that point, there's 600 feet of missing curvature. Okay, so even if you add the eye height, you're telling me there's 400 somewhat curvature feet of missing, but I still see the lights. None of those buildings are above 400 feet. Thank you very much. Okay, dog.
What was the eye height of the camera?
Yeah.
Vlad?
We're going
6
off
feet.
of
You guys
that
are saying
picture.
6 feet. It's
Yeah,
6
6
feet. That's fine.
Okay.
I reckon we should go 5 feet. If it doesn't look like it was head height, go 5 feet. I reckon that's reasonable.
Okay. That's fine as well, I guess.
It's irrelevant. What I'm trying to point out is
What are you
it's
guys
too
arguing
much
over?
feet. It's irrelevant. That eye height right there at that point, it's irrelevant because if there's physical curve, you should not be able to see the lights at all.
It's
No, you should.
It's not irrelevant because imagine
No, you should. It's why
Imagine-
you're able
Nope.
to see.
Yeah.
No. It's why you're able to see.
Well, that's you coping. That's your coping. That's you coping as a glober.
No.
imagine
No,
there's
you
a-
should not. Just so you know, that's your copium mechanism
I
as a
don't think
fucking
you're helping,
glober.
bro.
I don't.
Nuh-uh.
This
Yeah, wait a
isn't
minute.
going
Even
anywhere.
if he's 7 feet tall, you still wouldn't be able to see the city.
Am I able to give a
Exactly.
quick? Eye height does matter, albeit it may, like
No,
you're
it
saying,
doesn't.
there is. Can I please?
Not as
explain my
much as you think.
Could-
Not as much
Yeah,
as you
but
think.
could we please finish a thought?
Can we
without being
finish our point?
interrupted? Because Larry got mad when someone interrupted him for a second, and we're getting constantly
No, I didn't get
interrupted by
mad. I
Not
defended
not
myself.
mad. Yeah. Sorry. The wrong choice of word.
More whining than explaining. Go ahead, explain, bro.
In the same calculator used for 6 feet, if I put in 5 feet, there's a grand total of 10 feet change. Whereas
irrelevant,
if I
right?
10 feet is irrelevant.
Whereas if I put 6 and you're saying 0, hang on, let me do that quickly. That's a whole 120 feet change. It does matter.
140.
Not you guys have a problem with fucking ratios and proportions and stuff. I see
What do
that.
ratios have to do with this?
Well, I mean, if you're looking over a 30-mile distance, well, fucking 100 feet, how much is that? That's irrelevant. That's what I'm trying to say. You're looking at the math like a fucking moron.
What?
Let's just say that the camera was at 500 feet. That we can move on.
You guys even know what fucking percent errors are? Like 15% tolerances and shit. You guys don't understand any of that.
Can we just carry on for 5 feet? Just carry on for 5 feet.
Also, you're calling us morons and stupid
Yes,
the
you are.
entire time, but we're actually trying to be respectful. We might have our differences, but like at least
It's the way,
respectfully
it's the way you're
talk to
talking.
us.
Just because you're talking nice and calm and stuff, it's what you're saying that's fucking really disrespectful. Okay, like twisting my shit. When I told you about the whole thing being 600 feet, you came in. Oh no, you're wrong.
No,
I'm wrong. Do the formula, man. I said 30 miles. I didn't say anything about eye height.
That's at 0.
You guys just added shit about eye height. It's fucking retarded.
I know, you gave us a picture. You gave us your
Like I'm saying, the ratio is irrelevant. That eye height's irrelevant when you're looking over 30, 40. We have fucking images that are over 250
You're
miles,
going around
right?
in circles, guys. Come on.
It's not circles, but you guys are going around in circles.
Let's just get to let's just say the camera's at 5 feet. The guy is standing at the
Can we
lake.
just carry it 5 feet? He stood at the lake
Buddy,
5 feet.
give it 7. Give it 7. Does that even matter? Give it 7. I'll give you guys 7 feet.
Buddy,
Go ahead.
how tall
How
are
much
you?
drop? I'm 6'5". I'm 6'5".
He's 6 feet. 5 feet.
I'm 6'5", and that camera's not even on my chest, buddy. That camera's not even on my chest. First of all, that's irrelevant again. We give you 7 feet. Go ahead, do the formula with 7 feet.
At 7 feet. All right. 477. 7 feet.
How much drop rate should be there? 477.
477 feet.
That's 7 feet. We're not.
Oh, that's still pretty goddamn. That's still pretty goddamn tall, no?
Yes.
Yeah, none of those buildings. Just go Google St. Catharines across Toronto, and then look at the buildings in St. Catharines, bro. They're not fucking really tall at all.
Are we alright? Just try to keep it civil at the moment because there's a lot of shouting.
I'm not shouting. Who's shouting?
Okay.
I think you've never talked to a Russian person before, man. I think you guys gotta speak to more Russians, and you get shouted out all the time.
Right, Burj, we'll do 5 feet. 495. Carry on with your point.
I give you 7. Do 7. Doesn't matter. Do 7. Hey yo, do 7, bro.
I think he's from New York now. He's not from Canada anymore. He's from New York.
He's from Boston, dude.
Yeah. No, but we're trying to actually like go on with some empirical data. You gave us a picture. We're going off of that. Yes. Is that fine?
And we determined that even at a 7-foot height observation, you should not be able to see those lights across 30 fucking miles. We all determined that. Thank you. So what can we go on after this? I mean, what the fuck? What the fuck, man?
We haven't gone into it yet. We're actually.
They did. That you guys all solved the problem. You guys just see the answer. You just don't want to admit that the answer is like, it doesn't even matter. That's what I'm trying to point out. It doesn't even matter. But the eye height, because over the 30 miles. Oh my God. Go ahead. Say more shit.
Yeah. Every time we say something,
all I hear is you complaining. No. All I hear is complaining and not giving me any answers.
All right. It's okay, Vlad. This is a fairly good moving point to something like the Black Swan, right? So are you guys telling us that you believe that the horizon itself is the curve of the Earth?
Define what you mean by the horizon itself being the curve of the Earth.
Do you know what the horizon is?
I do, but are you trying to say the horizon is causing the curve of the Earth, or are you trying to say the horizon
is it the curve of the Earth?
Is
it the curve of the Earth? Because in this scenario with the Earth curve calculator, the obstruction is the horizon, is it not?
I believe it to exist because of the curve of the Earth. I don't believe it to be the curve of the Earth.
Yeah.
So where's the curve of the Earth then?
Everywhere. I don't.
Point it to me, and then plant a flag in it, please.
I am pointing straight down because the whole Earth is curved.
So you're standing on the curve.
Everyone's standing on the curve, mate.
Great. So how would we measure this curvature rate? Who did it? How is it done?
If I could tell you that, I would have a Nobel Prize for doing it.
Oh, brother, no, that's not right. Listen, the claim is that it's already been measured, and that's how we have the entire heliocentric model. Someone should have gotten the Nobel Prize a long time ago.
I have a question.
On it?
Yeah, let's go on. You go on.
Well, first off, I don't know if you guys accept this, but laser gyroscopes. Do you guys accept those kind of explanations?
We do, right? You say that it's proving the axial rotation of the Earth, right? But how come it doesn't show the Earth going around the sun? So if it proves one, wouldn't it also have readings for the other?
No,
but it doesn't.
No. It reads what you're on. If that gyroscope would be in, I don't know, on the sun, it would read that. Of course, it would melt. No. That's not irrelevant.
Okay,
because
listen,
the gyroscope.
It's real simple. You're claiming that the ring laser gyroscope can detect the axial rotation at 1,038 miles an hour at the equator, right?
Sure.
So, does it also detect the revolution of the Earth going around the sun once every 365 days?
No.
Oh, why not?
Because the gyroscope doesn't. It doesn't detect that. That's not what it's used for.
Wait a minute. It detects one motion but not the other? What's the magic that causes this to happen?
Because it detects spin. So our spin of the planet.
But not revolution.
It doesn't. That's not spin, is it?
It's rotation and revolution.
No.
How could it detect one but not the other?
Because it's not on that thing. It can't. That's just.
What
a
do you
thing
mean it can't? If I'm in a plane and I have a ring laser gyroscope and I do a 360 right up and down, and then I do a 360 left to right, it will detect one but not the other.
I'm sorry. I don't understand what you mean with this.
Okay. The ring laser gyroscope is rigid in space and detects motion, right?
Yeah.
Is it only a certain kind of motion that it detects? No, it's rigid in space. It doesn't move. So if one motion is happening, it would detect that. If another motion is happening, it would also detect that. If that wasn't true, then you would have gyroscopes on the ceiling, on the floor, on both walls, and one gyroscope for each axis, I guess, right? That's not how it works. So what you're saying can't be true.
A gyroscope is invented for spin. It was it was invented for spin.
For spin, not.
That's incorrect. That's not correct.
It might not have been invented for it, but that's what it's used for nowadays.
That's not correct at all.
Okay.
It remains its rigidity in space. That's all it does. Now it can be used to detect things like perhaps rotation or deviation from an original position, right? But it's not invented for the things that you say. That's patently false.
Yeah. Okay, no, that's fair to say.
Yep. So, these gyroscopes do not detect the vectors that you guys are claiming. That's a problem. But that's not the thing that we were talking about. We were talking about the curvature of the Earth, that apparently you would win a Nobel Prize if you found it.
Well, I mean, the guy who
did it, most likely, has probably...
Who did? Who did it?
Some old guy. I don't bloody know.
For real? This is the best that you guys have is a lot of claims and no evidence, and then appealing to nobody.
Am I right to quickly ask
probably we don't know if some dude won it.
Am I right to ask a question?
We're not a walking encyclopedia.
I don't know why you're asking a question when you could just show me where we find this Earth curve at.
Because
it's not the horizon.
Do you believe that we're wrong because we're believing things we're told by other people?